This was being weird. So I'm just hot starting. Hi guys. I was a bit late, my bad. Let me add the Discord. I might just go straight into it. YOLO. Poor Gran's been waiting. Sully!
Thank you for the sub.
Is that a new tier 2?
Put your
Hang
ass away,
on.
child.
Hello?
Sully Shadari just subscribed.
Been missing stream? Hi Bree! We're not wasting any time. Yeah, Twitch is being weird. Yeah. I think because of the GTA thing. Mum, how did your sleep go? How did the nighttime tabs go? Thank you, Sully. I'm really excited. Hi Marina, hi Bree, hi Max. Yee, thank you, Sully. Good to see you. I was thinking, by the way, after Grand Games to check out Funnel Runners because there's some new stuff you can do in it. So I'm thinking about just checking out everything today. Just doing like maybe like 3 games. Yay! Oh, that makes me so happy, Mum. Did you sleep well? Jeffy, baby. Jeffy, if you wanted to join Funnel Doll, you're more than welcome. I don't know if Tammy's working or not, but we can do an impromptu little funnel. Let me call Grand, guys. I'm so alert. I did. Oh, that makes me happy. I love that. Hi, Flo. Let me call Grand. She's going to yell at me. Let me see. She'd be right back. Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. That gives me some time. Hi, guys. Sorry. Did anyone see the GTA stuff? I haven't. Thoughts, if you do. Henry! Pizza! From the Plaza Hotel. Sammy, hello. We're doing an extreme hot start today. Extreme hot start. But we're doing it to him. Hello. Some DBD and then some other stuff later. I think today will be another like girthy stream, like a mild girth. I don't think it's gonna be like super long, just because I still got to do some stuff, but I'm still gonna be here. I haven't, Buns. I haven't. No, I haven't. Hi, Buns. Thank you. How is it? Is it absolutely ridiculous? Wait, Kaylee, you can do that? Hey, girl.
For me?
Hello.
Well, I never.
How's GTA? Was it worth getting up
Didn't
early
even
for?
end up home last
You know
night.
what,
Me
it-
and
you
my
know
date
what?
got
It
a hotel
actually-
room. Can't
Oh,
swell
really?
best date ever.
I was so. I even got like emotional multiple times. Like I love Rockstar Games, the stuff that they make,
Oh,
and girl, I was so glad.
really?
I got it. Was so. Listen, it's such a moment, you know, like a historical moment. Like when have
True.
we ever had a game release their first big thing on Netflix?
Yeah,
and then
true.
Everyone streaming it. Twitch literally.
Didn't it
broke.
break? Yeah.
It did. There were when I checked at one point, there were 2.68 million people watching.
Whoa.
Which that does not include the streamers themselves. And it only went higher, and then Twitch broke. You couldn't see your who you were following. Streamers couldn't their chats were not moving. You couldn't see your view count. It was so
Oh
crazy.
my god, my OBS was like flipping out before. I wonder if it's all connected. That
Yeah.
was crazy. Oh my god. But hell
It was
yeah.
Incredible. Well, you'll get some time later to watch it.
Oh,
but,
I will, baby. It was crazy.
Was wonderful.
Oh
I did
shit.
like a full. It was literally a 3-hour segment just on GTA.
Really?
Talking about it and breaking it down. Yeah, I loved it. I love it so much.
Oh my God,
it's Everything
amazing.
I wanted. Everything I wanted.
Go online, baby. Also,
quite
Funnel
likely.
has an update too. Just keep that in mind. Maybe next week.
Funnel Runner.
Yeah.
You know, I did like the game. My only problem was I never got to see you.
I know. Yeah, we have to. Maybe we
so
go together.
separated.
Maybe we walk together next time.
Is it one of those games that you know what? That's a good idea. Stay together.
Mm-hmm.
It could work.
Go online on Do Boy Do. I haven't versed the new killer yet, by the way.
Oh, they're fun. A lot of survivors are, the way they are. About anything and everything.
Eh.
But I enjoy
I love
going
Tutorial.
against them.
Yeah.
I think that they are a
Oh, thank you, by
weird
the way.
killer to
That's so
play.
cute.
I
Hi,
think their
Court.
power needs some tweaking.
Okay,
For
okay,
sure.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're not quite balanced properly yet. Like they can be really disgustingly strong, or you know, the worst. Like their power is hard to use.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing they do have, which you're gonna see, is their map control and gen pressure is kind of ridiculous.
Oh no.
Yeah, like I ran surveillance with oppression, and I just kept looking at the gens, and if I saw a gen change color, I would shoot a beam and knock people off the gen. It was so silly.
Oh shit. Okay. Let's do it.
Okay, I'm just
I can't see
logging
you
in
online,
now.
baby.
It's loading up. You know what? DVD is the only game that we play regularly that takes 1,000 years to open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Girl, I'm sitting here the whole call waiting for it to open.
True.
What is it doing?
Um,
Taxes?
I'm good, Striker. Bit nervous for tomorrow, but I'm excited. Hi, Connie. Oh, that's so sweet. I did a hot start today, so I didn't get to like be cute, but it's okay. After this, we'll play some funnel, I think, because there's a new update and I'm curious about it. Well, I've been playing a Silent Hill 2 and I haven't seen a second of this new killer. Oh my god, perfect. Well, yes. I haven't seen anything either. And not on purpose. Like, I haven't been mean. Oh my god. I haven't, like, on purpose not played it. It's just, I've been locked in with literally everything else. Hi, Chris. How are you, doll? I know. Gab Day's tomorrow. Oh my god. Gab Day's tomorrow. I gotta go to, because I messaged the foster. I was like, what food does she like? So I was thinking, knowing what, like, litter she likes and what food she likes would be good for her. So she at least is comfy with what she's eating. And what she likes is at Pet Barn. So I need to go to Pet Barn today, to get her food. But I got pretty much everything yesterday. I'm so excited. I keep like wanting to get her more toys, even though I know that all she wants is the shoelace. But you can't help yourself. You just gotta do what you gotta do. Because she brings toys as gifts. So I was like, I want her to have a lot of gifts. I want her to have a selection of things to, you know, to play with. I don't know. I feel like I didn't get this experience with Mimi because I was in school. You know, I was 16 when we got Mimi, so it's like a full experience for me, like being able to plan as much as I have been because I was 16. Like, I was going to school, I had work, I barely got to see Mimi for the first couple of years. Like, I did see her, of course, but like, you know what I mean? It's different. Thanks, Ray. That's really sweet. I'm very excited for her to be able to hang with us. She sent me, by the way, I got new photos of her. This is my dream. The photos she sent me. I gotta show you this. You're not ready for this.
Did you get a request from me
Oh wait, maybe. Oh wait, yep.
in the game?
Here you go, baby. Did you get that? Or invite me
I
again?
heard-
Sorry,
I
I
heard a
might
blue.
have been talking about my cat.
Let me see now.
I'm gonna try again.
Let me see now.
I'm just showing them.
Will work now?
No.
Did you get
Again,
that
it's
button?
probably just DVD.
Let me try joining through Steam.
Okay. Let me just quickly. Let me show them this. real
Invitation
quick.
could not be accepted. What? Are you online on Steam? Because I don't see you online on Steam either.
Let me try again. I am
Why
online.
does this always happens with us on any game? It's so fun. Like, even Overwatch offline. Like, I can't see you.
I know.
I sense myself.
Look at this photo of her yesterday. That's what I want
clicked it
so
and
bad.
nothing happened.
Hi, Jeffy. Hi, Pig. Oh.
Okay, I requested to join again.
Okay. I've got nothing. Let me see. Are you online?
I am.
Oh, invite to party. How about that? Do you see that?
It's
Tammy, hello.
it's
Are you at home today?
It
Hi,
faded out some of the
Pink. Hi,
menu and then it did
Kyle.
nothing. Let me just restart the whole
Tammy.
game.
And
See
Jules.
if that fixes it. Girl, what's really going on?
Guys, funnel update. They do have steps this place, which I really liked. So I will be doing a fundraiser for them at some point in the next couple of months. More sucking. Yeah. So if you're down for some funnel after this, guys. Let me see if I can back out. I'll go to the, you go into a lobby and I'll go into the, or you go into a lobby, I'll go into the main menu and I'll see if I can join you.
Yeah, see if that works.
That's so random. What the hell?
I,
It's so funny. It's,
Stuff happens.
I don't know.
They add a palette and then
Stop.
Hot
Not
Star's
add a palette.
left toe falls off and
Stop.
then like
Girl, you crazy. That's so
I
funny.
don't know, like it's like coding is hard, okay?
No, it is. It is. Okay, can you
It's
go online again?
hard
I
and
can't
just
see.
Stuff just
Fuck.
happens. Actually, I was watching Arts because I wanted to know how to play this killer, and he's so funny because he will be like, "Oh dear, oh gosh," and then the next the next like 15 minutes later, he'll be like, "Oh, this fires up my not like it's just like."
That's
like,
so funny.
It's like he censors himself and then doesn't do it sometimes.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so you want me to go into a lobby?
Okay, wait. Try this. Oh, wait. This is working now. I got a pop-up.
And you're definitely online.
Yeah.
on-
Yeah. Come in now. Come in now.
It's doing the same thing.
Wait, now it's working. Now it's working.
Oh.
Now it's working. I wasn't getting pop-ups before.
Oh my god, there we are.
Hey, girl.
Hey, Diva. Look. Listen, once they add a cosmetic for this
Like
character
a pinky
that has my
girly.
hair.
Yeah.
Oh my, because this is like a messy bun, okay?
No,
it's
real.
Not the same.
Real.
But it's, I mean, it kind of looks like my moo-moo, no?
It does look like your moo. What's this? You gain. Oh, okay. Responsible guy.
I'm using a really weird build, by the way.
Oh, great.
Which is no, please,
No,
it's
no.
really fun.
No.
It's fun.
No, what is it? What is it?
Okay, so I'm running Object of Obsession.
Ugh. No, I'm
with
kidding.
We See You
Okay.
and Scene Partner. So Object, I see the killer and they see me every 30 seconds.
What the fuck?
And
Leg
every
titty
time I see the
tata.
killer, because if we see you, I get a token.
Okay.
So literally every
Ah, these fucking
30
tokens.
seconds, I get a token. So after
Lucky
2
Llama just
minutes, like
resubbed
literally
for
2 minutes goes
35
by,
months.
the entire
Wow,
team.
stunning old. Kuchiko
Sees the
wow,
killer for
Carl's
15
comfy
seconds.
_SG.
So we
Great.
all get to see the killer.
Great.
But it does mean that the killer is gonna randomly see me every 30 seconds.
Perfect.
And then a scene partner is, when I'm within the killer's radius and you look at them, I
Yes,
will
you scream. What is wrong
and
with
see
you?
the killer. And there's a 50% chance you will scream again. If you do, you see the killer's aura for 2 seconds longer.
Girl, okay. You know what that voice reminds me of? When we were playing Feast of Fathom and we were chasing each other with the hose.
God, that game was so. I need them to make more games like that.
I
because
know, that's so
they don't make enough
fun.
two-player horror games. They're
I
always
want
doing these,
them
like,
to
4-player
re-release.
games. I
Mhm.
don't want 4-player.
No, I just need my babe, you know?
I don't. Stop making 4-player games. Make
Hi,
players
Idon. Hi,
for the
Virgil.
players. The 2 players.
Mm-hmm.
The
I gotta sneeze.
co-op gamers. The couch gamers.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
That was so cute and disgusting at the same time. What a wonderful brand.
It was. Thank you. Sorry, my bad. Henry, how are you, my love? Lukey, thank you for tier 3. How are you? Jinx, Tim Tam, Slam, Gamer. How's your job, Henry? How's everything going? I think we'll do some funnel after this. Sue me. Sue me. It looks cool as an update. Oop. Uh-oh. God, I haven't played DBD in years. Oh, it's a Wraith? It's a Wraith. What the hell? That's gonna come in handy, right?
Just ringing that bell, honey.
Isn't that good for you? With your build?
Yeah. This is an awful time to change my sensitivity. Okay, there we go.
Why is he banging that bell?
Don't know. He's just banging that bell. Bang the bell.
Oh,
Oh, I screamed.
oh,
my
he's
God,
coming!
because I
He's
had that
coming!
perk. Oh, I see it because of my fucking perk. I'm screaming.
Of course you
literally.
did.
I'm screaming.
Hi,
Oh my God, my mouse has
clown.
gone to my other monitor. Hello?
Oh my god. 6 days.
Oh no, don't do this to me.
I missed you yesterday, baby.
Don't do this to me. Oh my God, oh my God.
Idon, proud of
It's fine, I
you.
have
What the
balance
hell?
landing.
Look at this good news.
You can ring
Hello.
my bell. Why is my mouse over there?
Oh my god, you poor thing, Henry. I'm proud of you though.
No.
Are you enjoying it? I know, Kyle, every single day, what's going on? Look at
Oh
my
God.
Instagram
Carla, do you know how
story.
to put your mouse back?
My mouse back. What do you mean, baby?
Like, if your mouse accidentally travels to the wrong side.
I have to control alt tab and then like reset the mouse.
Control Alt Tab.
Like alt tab, get out of it and then click back in.
Oh, that fixed it. Thank you.
That's all right.
Oh my God, that was so bad. It happened right as he was chasing me.
I am clown years. 5 years this year. Isn't that crazy?
I'm so excited and ready. Oh,
This is my first game.
oh, that killer is.
I made a story on Instagram. I reposted it, and it's like, Aussies can't fall asleep because they're scared another legend will die.
It's so true though because
Every
why
single
is
day
it
this
happening
week.
all at once.
I know.
It's so silly and
I
needs
know.
to stop.
I agree.
Oh,
Not
do
not
you
our
see the
Tim
killer?
Curry. Yeah, I do.
Oh, Tim Curry was
A pizza.
devastating.
That's like, I saw that and I went,
That's us.
fuck, that is us. Now I'm glad I have my emote and my alert. And he's in my Tamagotchi world.
Oh, you're Timadachi?
Oh, sorry, my Timagotchi.
Okay, I'm about to see the killer.
I'm gonna finish this gen because I don't give a fuck. Oh, okay, I shouldn't have done that. That's okay.
Oh, you're close to me somewhere. I sense.
He's
you.
on me, but he's not gonna get me.
Are you near?
I'm in that room with the double
Survivor?
palais. I'm running away now to another room. He's ringing that bell.
Mama, I'm in the gig.
Oh, he's
I
ringing
hope
that
we go
bell,
against
girl.
The new killer today for you. I want you to experience the new killer.
I agree. I would love to. I love to tour. Oh, I went to a room with no
love
palette.
to-
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Oh, not good. I could make his palette, surely. I love to tour.
We are going to get
He's on me,
photo
but I'm
reading
different.
on the killer in about 5 seconds. You're gonna see him for 15 seconds. Oh, doesn't matter because someone's getting hooked.
Okay. What
Bad
the fuck?
timing. Fuck.
Oh, not everyone getting sick. It's going around. Type in chat. Type
there
in
he is.
chat. Have you seen that?
Yeah, what? Are you sick with something?
I am much better. I had the flu like a couple weeks ago, but it's lingering, but I'm much better.
Oh God.
Type in chat. Have you seen that meme?
No.
Oh
what
my
is
god,
that?
I need to show you. It's this, is it Joe? What's his name? Joe Blart? No, it's not Blart. What's his name?
Joe Blart.
It's not Blart.
Any relation to, you know?
No, Joe Bart. Joe Bart, sorry. And he's a streamer, and someone,
Okay.
I don't know the context, but someone was doing something in chat, and he was just like getting really heated, like vein popping out his forehead. And he was like, I know you're listening. Type in chat. Type in chat. But it's really funny because it's just a good stim. I have to send you the clip.
Is he a character or
He's
a
real.
streamer?
He's a streamer.
real. He's a
Sorry,
real
he's a
person.
streamer. Hi, Kaz. I did a hot start. I literally went live with my game scene because my OBS was being weird, and I was like, fuck it.
Oh my god. I started stream at
Girl,
at,
what?
girl!
2 a.m. my time you started.
I started at was like 2 oh shit.
I'm getting
I
the
started
same.
at what was it? 6:45 a.m. my time.
Girl, I got a message from Gran at 2 a.m. my time, and I saw it this morning, and she was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go live with it right now. I'm like, girl, okay.
Oh!
True, Jebby. It's actually pretty impressive
that
you haven't
shit
seen
hit?
it. I don't really know who Joe Bart is, but it's a funny clip, and I like to stim it. Type in chat.
I love that this Wraith is bonging the bell.
I'm so
over and
used
over,
to
like,
it
he
now
hasn't
that I haven't.
stopped.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
You're
I
the
love
Why is he
stim.
so
71 just
fast? Like,
subscribed.
I feel like he's faster.
Maybe, come and get me, baby. Wraith
this
in
orderly
chat.
saving my
Wraith in
life.
chat.
Saving my life. Oh, did I not change categories? Oops.
Oopsies. I love to stim. Tall, thank you, doll. How are you? Happy 28.
Girl, I did
I
everything.
love
I put the
to
damn
stim.
icon on my screen. I put the hashtag and everything, but I forgot the damn.
Sammy's such a trendsetter. It's so funny. I love it. Well, if it wasn't for Sammy, I wouldn't have
It's quite
known
a
what it
pleasant
is.
Noise, the bell.
That's my
ringing.
goat. And then we swapped. I introduced Sammy to I love to tour.
Just heal myself
And Sammy introduced me to
real quick.
type in chat, and those are the
Please
two
don't
things
come
we
over
say
here.
so
Oh
much
my
together.
God.
Like if we're playing Overwatch together, we constantly go, I go through hell torn. I'm good, Tool. Thank you for the support. A little bit nervous for tomorrow, but excited.
Where the hell is he?
Sammy's on vocal
Oh
rest.
my god, he's right there.
What happened with Overwatch today? Did Chris's team win the tourney?
Oh, someone got the save. Okay. Lovely.
I'm running.
And that noise today.
Yeah, he's quite nice.
We need to do Jen on the other side,
Like
I think.
fourth
the
player
lab
or like fourth team.
room side. Just so we don't 3 Jen. And then I believe the Jen upstairs in the scientist rooms isn't done.
Oh.
And I can do that.
Minions tips from Sammy.
oh.
Yeah.
I'm in the portal room.
Fourth place. Really?
Jen has a lot of progress.
Oh my god, how many teams were there? I wish I could have played. I wish they just give Aussies like the option. Like you're gonna have bad ping, but if you want to play, like go for it. Because Overwatch ping for me is not that bad. When I play with my pals on 200 ping, I don't notice a difference. I still get play the game, babe. Bello! If I had adrenaline, that would have been amazing. Oh, he got me. He got me, girl. Oh, Cookie's dead. Yeah, just give us that chiller. What the hell? Oh, Carl got you. Move! What's the Terry one I always used to say? It was on the same, it's in the same category as move. Bad ping. You rang. You could never be bad. What was it? Yeah! Wait, Maddie, you're always eating though. What are you eating? Let me live. Let me live. Girl, I died.
Oh, what? What happened?
I died, girl.
That build honestly saved my goddamn life. Like
Bing
I
bong,
could
bing
constantly
bong.
see him, and he just was like, "Well,
True.
guess I'll fucking die."
True.
Someone said he probably is ringing the bell because Wraith doesn't have a custom song like all the other killers. So he's just like, you know what? I'm gonna make my own.
Real. Wait, why is it coming up with?
I like how you're wearing
Patatas.
Okay,
the quick
Tresh.
shirt with the
Tasha
nuns
4CJ
I know,
just
isn't it great?
resubbed for
'Cause
62
I love
months.
Totoro.
Hey
foul. I
everyone.
love
Thank
it.
y'all.
Are we having fun yet?
Dash, thank you for tier 3, 62. I appreciate that. How are you? How has your week been? Hello. I love to tour. I go through hell touring. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. How are you? They played good though. It seemed really fun. It seemed super, super fun. Duh. Trip was wonderful. That went quick. That went really, really quick. Did I like that setup? No, I didn't. When the killer starts chasing you, see the auras of other survivors who have not been chased. Boon. Oh, I'm so burning. I'm up burning. I'm so gonna burn. You know what? I'm gonna do a full boon build. Let's do exponential. I'm bringing boons in. Sorry.
Oh my god, yes. Okay, the new killer, when you play them, when people bring like the shadow step boon is so goddamn annoying.
Okay, I'll
like-
do a full boon.
Literally, that killer with aura reading is so strong. But if you block it, girl,
Girl.
so
Okay.
strong.
Okay.
I played one game as the judgment, and I was awful. I didn't know how to use the power. I did a bot game, learned how to use it, and then literally all of my games after that were 4Ks. It was so ridiculous.
Are you up burning or what?
Am I what?
Are you up burning?
No, baby, I'm Aurora reading.
Mm.
If you stay Aurora reading, you don't gotta get Aurora reading.
Mm.
You sound you have
Abby,
that sick
hello.
voice that I like.
What voice, baby?
You know, that little voice you get when you're sick. You know, a little Discord kitten voice.
Eh.
Girl, are you saying that as looking into the face of this old survivor?
Girl. Hey, baby.
Girl, we look so
Girl, we look
golden.
so
Come on,
good.
baby. I
Come
got
on.
a coupon for the Applebee's.
Eh. Can we go
What is
to
it?
Olive Garden later? I want to
Yeah,
get some
hold
breast
on.
sticks.
Oh, you want some breasts? I got some breast sticks.
Oh, look
right
who
here.
it is. Look who it is. It's
Oh.
the Judge Man.
It is the judgment. Okay,
Ew,
good.
what is this?
So do you know how this works?
No.
Okay, so if you see the beam, that's like them charging it, and you have a very short amount of time to react. Okay?
Oh, great.
So they're gonna launch it at you. It goes through terrain. If it hits you directly, you will take damage, and then you get this like weird aura around your head, which means you are now a heretic. And what that means is, if you are a heretic and you do a gen, if you don't hit a great skill check, you hit anything other than a great skill check, it starts regressing the gen.
What the hell is
So
this?
what you have to do is, if you have that, when you can, go to a statue like the one you just saw,
Yes.
and you rub its titties, and you spin around, and you kiss its cleft palate, and then over 30 seconds, you will have the heresy removed.
I love to
From you.
tour. Okay.
It takes 5 seconds to pray to the
Block
statue
aura
and touch
reading.
its titties. However, the 30 seconds, it just does it like over time automatically.
Hi, Jazz.
Also, if you have that aura and they down you, they can exile you.
What
like
the
David
hell?
had.
Girl, I boot up to play a game. I don't boot up to do my PhD in
Oh.
exile.
And that's not all. When you're exiled, you're gonna have a little pendant that you pick up, and you want to take that pendant and you want to aim it like a flashlight at these little floating head things, like medallion symbol things. And the more you do, the faster you can get out of exile. Or someone can go up to a statue and get you out of the exile. and then you're out.
What the fuck?
So if you teabag the killer, you can build up sin or something, and you can become a heretic that way. And if you stay within the exit gate threshold, like within it, and you just wait there for 45 seconds, you also will get the heresy thing. And, oh my god, I just got hit by it. And you cannot leave the trial.
Guys,
Like, there's literally so much
I
going
don't
on.
fucking know. What the fuck? That's
But
crazy.
TLDR, avoid the damn beams because they're crazy.
Okay. I love how everyone in chat's like, I don't fucking get it. Too many rules.
It's a lot. I literally sat there being like, okay. I looked at the videos. I played it a couple times. I'm like, okay, got it.
I love
let
how
me
you
tell you,
get
that
things. I never
beam-
get these.
It comes quick. Like, it is... That thing is fast. So when you see it
Girl.
being charged, get ready to move.
Mm-hmm. Hi, John.
Now,
I'm
it's not
getting
the
a new
easiest thing
kitty
in the world to
tomorrow.
hit. It's easy if he can see you're on a gen. But if you have to actually like aim that shit in a chase, it's really difficult. So
What the hell?
if you're in a chase with them, they're probably not going to be able to hit you consistently. It's pretty hard to do. So the closer you are to them, the actually safer you are.
Tash goes, I got about 5 seconds of that.
I know. I don't know how else to explain
No,
it. to be
no.
honest.
Honestly, that's really great because there's no way that I'll understand any of it ever. I think it's probably like dodging Huntress Axe. Interesting. Like to a degree, but like, yeah, right.
Imagine pyramids had power, but imagine Henry's power, and it's just like a pillar, and it just flies through everything. But have you seen how they have to fire it?
Yeah, don't they have to turn around?
So what they do is when you charge the power as the killer, you can see this little like, you know when you play Nurse and you see that when you use
Yes,
that little add-on
yes.
and you can see where you're, so they basically get that. They get like a little thing like that with a line that comes off it. But there's
Really?
also a pillar, okay? So the starting pillar, that's where the beam begins, and then the little Nurse line fire thingy, that's where it's going to go when they press M1. So it's like, you can see that? You saw it just fly by?
Yes.
They charged it, but then they have to like aim it again. Like, it's really weird.
Pink goes, how medicated is Gran? She's never been so eloquent in explaining something so complicated. Didn't you change
I'm sleep
meds?
deprived. I got up at so early in the morning, and I was so excited for Carol to finally join. And now I feel like I'm like excited to tell you about this
No,
thing.
please do.
But I learned so much yesterday when I was playing. Like, I genuinely was like, oh, I hate this. And then I went, okay, wait, no, I like this. I like this. I'm into it. But TLDR, yeah, avoid those damn...
Damn. We
pillars
smile and
and-
nod.
If they
Uh-oh.
are in a chase with you, like...
Yeah, no,
and
it is a
you're
lot.
pretty close range, you have a pretty good chance of avoiding, like, you just have to kind of juke back and forth. You'll be fine.
You've always been really good at clicking. Like, you click really quick with new killers. I've always taken 10 business days.
This one is very... The only complicated part about this killer playing it is aiming the power. Everything else you don't have to think about. But as a survivor, you have a lot to think about,
Okay.
I feel. Like all the heresy and all that BS. Oh god, I have nothing here.
Girl.
Ah. Oh, never mind. I got something for you, baby.
Oh my god.
Go on, launch your damn.
Tash,
your
I'm glad you had a
damn
great
beam at me
time, doll.
again.
That
Go
went really
on.
quick. And
Go on,
Jabs,
sugar
Nate, hello.
tits.
How was yesterday? Nothing bad about it. But I've
Launch
been
your
good
beam,
killers.
baby.
I've
Oh,
seen
we're
good killers
done.
get many 4Ks
There we go.
at 5 gens. Oh, okay. This one seems new at it. Right. So
I'm
it's
try- I'm trying
dangerous
to
in the
think,
wrong
like,
hands.
What else is similar to this killer? But really, it's like Henry, Pyramid
True.
Head, artist, like where artists can launch birds through stuff.
Would you
sorry.
say this killer? I agree, by the way. Would you say this killer is like really dangerous in the wrong hands?
Oh yes, the skill ceiling on this killer.
Higher than
If
Nurse, you
can
think?
learn the power. Okay, the one thing they do over Nurse is they have map control. Nurse can teleport around, yes, and they're good in a chase. This one just like they can just sit in the middle of the map and just launch beams at gens that they know someone's on and get them off it.
Mm.
That's when they're strong. They also have an add-on that changes how the power is used, and a lot of people do like it, where the beam, the initial point of shooting, sticks to terrain, and then they fire it off it. It's a lot easier to use. But I haven't encountered anyone using it yet. I've just seen people using it. When I learned, I didn't use it because I wanted to learn the vanilla one. But Mama, when you like, I got like a triple hit on some bots when they were healing. I got a couple of double hits in a public round. It's very satisfying to play.
Okay.
But the power is so wonky. I won't lie. Like it's very. I feel like I just guess a lot of the time and just kind of throw it, and it
We
works.
should do a custom together. And
Yeah,
laugh.
do you want to learn how to do it?
I feel like I'm gonna go, girl, get me
You wanna
out.
do it
Actually,
now?
yeah, right.
Yeah, let's do just you and I. And,
We'll just do a little hee hee ha ha. Because I
You want
haven't.
to play the killer so you can see what it's like?
I'll play, but I won't finish the game because I'll probably just go, girl, and then
Yeah.
um.
To see how the power is, you'll see what I'm saying when you're
mhm,
in
mhm.
it.
Okay.
There's one thing to just me yapping, but like visualizing is something else.
She is really pretty though. Like I'll give her that. Like it's gorgeous. Wow.
So it's actually a he.
Oh really? Oh great.
Yeah. So you know what's interesting is this character is female presenting, but is a male,
Love.
which is fascinating.
Okay.
Kind of love that.
Yeah, I love you.
Do you want me to make it, or do you want to make it?
Oh sorry, I'm in. Let me invite you.
Bloop, bloop.
Jabs, now I hope you're stressed.
I honestly,
Gets
I love
less
the Chuck.
dull.
I think I'm a little bit biased though, because
But I
the
love you
old
guys.
woman character. That is so exciting to me.
Okay, wait. What the hell?
Am I in the sloppy? Oh, I am.
What is this?
And then we can add some. Do you want to add some?
I don't know.
bots?
You know what? I'm not even gonna add anything. I'm just gonna add bots, and then I'm not even gonna do like perks. I'm just gonna do base. I remember when I. Oh, sorry, I was muted. I'm not gonna add perks or anything. I'm just gonna go in.
Yeah, neither. I'll just.
Tutorial. Hi, Puffin. Mm.
How do you take a perk off? Am I bald?
Click it, and then click the perk, and then click the perk in inventory, like the slot. Sorry, click.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
mhm.
I said clit. Fuck.
I don't know why I forgot how to do that.
I said
Okay.
clit, guys. It's over for me.
I've only been playing this game for like 6 years.
I know. You know, it's 5 years as I think it's 6 years for you and 5 years for me. As a fog whisperer.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
There's gonna be a day where people don't even know what Fog Whisperer means.
I know. I still love it so much.
I do too. I always get stressed about the hours, but I feel they give us a little bit of grace because we are such like old, Creators?
True.
and we've done a lot of hours over
Oh.
the years.
If I go into my Twitch tracker, which I'm sure yours is the same, I think I've streamed like 5,000 hours of DBD.
Oh my god!
I'm not
I
even
should
kidding.
Look into that. I
Yeah.
should look into
I
how many
can-
I've done because
I can find yours after this game.
I
Remind me.
know that I've done a lot of
Mhm.
DBD.
Okay, so I
Okay.
am here. I have you on. I can barely hear Granny. Oh, okay. I can turn Granny up.
Let me see if I can find you. So,
Cool.
also this killer is like hunter speed, so they're a little bit slower.
Is that better, guys?
Hello.
Is that better, guys?
Am I better?
Are you
So
better?
you're a little bit slower.
Okay. Yeah.
Now try using your power. So hold. Yeah, you see that? So you see the.
Okay. So am I touching you with the diamond tip?
Excuse me.
You heard what I said, bitch.
I only want the finest tip. It must be made of diamonds.
Eh,
Cut or uncut matters not to me, madam, but
yeah.
a diamond nonetheless.
Yeah.
What were you saying? Oh, right. So the power, you hold down M2, and when you do it, don't do it yet, you will see an initial, like, it looks like a pillar, right? Like a circle.
Yeah.
And then coming off it, you also see a line and that little
Yes.
burning thingy.
Yeah.
So the pillar, this is what I had to learn. The pillar is where the beam will shoot from. So you are creating the point of where you shoot from with the circle, okay? And then the beam thing, the little line with the little burning thing, that is showing you the direction your beam is going to go when you press M1. So press M1.
Oh, M1. Okay, sorry, wait, I'll recharge.
Yeah, it's not like Hunters where you just let go. You have to M2, and then do you see
Okay.
there?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't have to look
But-
away anymore?
You can, so you could like, if you're chasing a survive, they did nerf it a bit, so it takes a bit for the thing to going. But the thing with the pillar is it doesn't damage anything until it's charged up and traveled for a certain amount of time. So you can't just like land it on me. It has to be charged. You know it's charged when it changes color. What's difficult about this, like why it's hard, is so you make the initial point, right? Like say I'm the initial point. You could go like this, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna fire from here, and then you aim. You're aiming the line, right, with your camera.
Yes.
You're aiming the line, but as you're aiming it, right, the initial point that you made, you might have moved to here, but it's still moving. Oh, yeah. So that's about how far it is. You have to account for the fact the initial point is moving. So when you do fire the direction, just counter that, account for that in the angle.
Oh my god.
It's really like I had to learn this all myself. Like it really took a second. You'll see in a chase, like when you chase somebody,
Okay, I'll
try hit
try.
them with the power.
Okay, I'm gonna try now.
So create the initial point with the circle, and then aim its direction with the line. And if you're in a very close loop, you don't want to aim it like, you don't want to aim the initial point at the survivor, because it's going to be too close. It's not going to charge up the thing properly.
Right.
So what you want to do is launch it like to the side or behind there, not behind them, behind you, but usually to the side of the survivor, and then swing it the other way. It's really
oh my
like,
god.
it's
This is
really
intricate.
complicated,
What the
very
fuck?
complicated. You
Okay.
will get it, but even then, it's like, it's tough. It's really, really tough.
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know. Woofy! Hello, doll. How are you? See, this is crazy. No, yeah, thank you, Tash, for letting me know. I didn't realize you were so quiet.
Yes, chase that man. Yes, yes. So there, if that was too close, so it didn't,
Yeah.
get to damaging point.
Oh, that was close.
See that was better. The longer you hold it, when it's released, I think,
If you
don't quote me
time
on this,
it.
but the way that I think it works is that it will become empowered to damage people after it's been held or has traveled for a couple of seconds. So you can combine holding and distance to make it do damage.
Thank you. Roger.
It's really like there's a lot of muscle memory to it, I fear. So like there, you
Thank
held
you.
Slay
it,
Shadow has gifted
and if
6
I had walked into
subs.
that, you would have hit me
Naughty
because you held it
boy.
and it got charged.
Oh, okay.
So try and hit me like at this loop. And the survivors, we can see your initial pillar,
Oh,
where
yeah.
the starting point, but we can't see what direction you're pointing it in.
Oh god. Yeah. this
Right,
is
and it
hard.
expires after 3 seconds. You
Oh
can
my
only hold it for
God.
3 seconds max.
Okay.
So try do it again at me here. That was good. That was good.
Okay,
that was like
okay,
right
okay.
on me.
Oh, right. Okay.
Try again. Good, good, you got it.
Right, right.
And those were like right on me too.
All right, guys, we're getting there.
And then,
Trace, thank
drop
you
me,
so
drop me, drop
much.
me, drop me. Oh,
Sorry, it was
I was
too
gonna
late.
say you can exile me instead.
Oh, that's right.
You
Yes.
don't have to hook.
You're right. You're right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it's better because sometimes it takes
Tracy, if you got
longer
a
for people to get out of exile,
guys.
and
Thank you.
they will just pop up like randomly when they get out of the exile. They'll just be anywhere on the map. Sometimes they'll be right next to you. If they do get endurance for a while though. Just bear in mind. So if you did exile someone and you see them again and they're out, and they try to bait you into a hit, they probably have endurance.
Oh, I got someone. Okay, it kind of reminds me. It's different, obviously, but it kind of reminds me of Pyramid Head when you like are trying to hit them behind a wall. Like it's obviously
Yes.
much quicker though. You can't hold it for as long, but
Like it's like the artist or Pyramid Head. The different. Imagine the artist, but you could damage with the first bird, but the bird wouldn't damage until the bird has traveled a certain distance, and you have to set up like a double shot. It's like
yeah.
you set up the starting point, and then you have to. You set up the starting point, and then you set up the trajectory. Is how it works. I do sound insane explaining this. Oh my god.
No, but
I do, but it's actually no, because it's actually that complicated.
you're doing the hard work for me.
What I would say though is you are trying to land it right on top.
Yeah, I
would
gotta
try and
predict.
go to the side of them and then swing it, or the side diagonal can work pretty well too. If they go around a corner, like Killer Shack or something, you could probably predict their path as well. Try chasing me, throwing it behind you, and then throwing it forwards at me.
Throwing it behind me.
Yeah, and then throw it back at me.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh,
It's
interesting. It
kinda
makes it longer.
wonky. Yeah, it's. So throw it behind, and then
Oh, I lost it. Sorry, 3 seconds.
so don't fire it. Don't charge it until you're looking away. So look away from me. Yeah, and now look back at me.
Okay, right. Oh my god, this is crazy.
Right?
Like, what
I
the hell?
legitimately had to play a public game and a bot game, and then I just figured it out. Like,
Girl, let's get
by
back into a
myself
lobby.
as
That
I
is
went. It was rough, but
that's
but
crazy.
now you can see. Now you know how to play against it.
True. Okay.
You feel like this is how Gran would sound if she ever got kidnapped. Gently trying to give them pointers on how to be
Grace.
better kidnappers.
How are you,
Real.
doll? Thank you so much, Trace. I appreciate you. That's very kind. Please make sure you're thanking Tracy if you got a subby. I'm good. I'm alright. Tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow's the big day.
Carla, if you go to your messages, like your inbox and DBD,
Yes.
does it tell you, like, I just got a message saying, the Wraith. You just faced the Wraith.
Did I?
Like, and it starts explaining the Wraith to me.
I got you just face the judgment.
Yes, I've never seen that before.
Huh, okay.
I guess it's when you face a new killer. It tells you what it is.
Okay, sure.
I love the accessibility
I
of it
love
all.
to tour.
I loved it too. Aurora, you know what's funny? I did this Aura build because her name is Aurora, and the night before I was streaming this, I was like, I want to change my build. I'm so tired of doing the same build. I'm like, wait, I should do an Aura build for Aurora. Turns out that angel killer seeing you every 30 seconds is kind of the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Like it makes killers chase you, and then you can see them, so you just kind of like bait them. It's actually
Yes.
very helpful.
What the hell?
How are you feeling, by the way? Are you feeling
I'm feeling much better. I still have like some sniffles, but I'm pretty
okay?
much good to go. I'm picking up my cat tomorrow,
Oh, the new one. Which one did you get?
Gabriella.
Oh my God! Like
She's
a
so
High School
cute.
Musical.
Yes. Let me see if I have a photo. I'm gonna show you. She's really cute. I'll admit
Let me
it.
see.
You're not ready for this, girl.
Let me see that cat.
Oh, I'm showing you, baby. You're not ready for this, bitch.
Oh my god. It is the cat that you showed me.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh, their eyes are so cute. What coat is that? What coat is that?
She's a calicore.
Yeah,
Tabby.
okay. A calico tabby, yeah.
I know.
It's a rare coat. It's beautiful. Oh my god, their little face.
I can't
How
wait for
old are
the.
they?
She's 9 months.
Oh.
I can't wait for her to pop on stream for the first time. Like, I'm so excited for her to be around.
That is so adorable.
Sully,
You
you're
know what
right.
I did yesterday?
Yeah.
I went and had moles removed.
Ooh.
I'm going and doing everything medical that I could like literally possibly
Yes.
need before moving. So I don't even know if I needed them. I was just like, girl,
Girl, I need to check a mole
Get
on
rid
my
of them now.
back.
you should. And you don't necessarily have to go to a doctor. You can just go to a dermatologist.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
I need
And-
to because it's a brand new mole on my back.
Oh, brand new mole.
Brand new mole.
Does it stick out or does it?
It sticks
kinda
out a
in?
little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a hair in it. But also that's not necessarily like a pass, and it's itchy.
That's very Maltese of you. Is that what
I
it
know.
is?
But like I
Yeah.
don't usually I'm not a mole, like I only have one birthmark and that's it. So for me to get a brand new mole at the ripe age of 30, I'm like, what?
That is a little concerning. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
get that checked out.
Maybe I'll go to the doctor this afternoon. Be like,
That's a
hey,
good
is
idea. Do they do like walk-ins? Oh, girl, it's the goddamn ghoul.
Oh, what the hell? Brand new mole.
Oh,
Brand new mole is me
God.
when I make a new friend. Wait, truth.
Brand
She's
new mole.
baby. No, I am very excited. She's very
The
sweet.
way I don't know how to go against this killer.
Yeah, every
Killer.
time I play against this killer, I literally just, I don't know. You just
Well,
face
guess
the
what?
ghoul.
We lost the shack palette already. Wasn't me, by the way.
That wasn't me, right? I don't think it was. Was that me,
No,
guys?
it
Did I
was
do that?
Nancy. And you know what? We've all been there.
Oh,
I'm not judging
true.
her.
You're right.
We have all been there. I'm gonna scream.
Wait,
if
did I
look in
drop
their
that pallet,
direction.
guys, or was that the Nancy?
Was it you?
I don't know.
Were you being chased?
I think so.
Thank you for
Wait,
the
guys,
sub.
let's think about this.
Put your ass away, child.
I
Roll the
threw
tape.
it. Okay, I threw it. My bad.
DR Case just subscribed.
Sorry, girl.
Looking
It
very
was
pretty
me.
Oh, wait,
today.
it's
For
fine.
No,
something
it's on me,
I'd
it's on
fully go
me.
booths.
Also, objective obsession. I didn't know
That's
this,
funny.
but you passively do things faster.
Oh, cool.
Preparing gens and cleansing and I think healing maybe.
Eh.
Let me heal this girl.
I'm gonna
This
just
girl.
pretend that she dropped the pallet.
Carla, I hope that they add some cute old lady cosmetics for
Yes.
this character.
Yes.
We need it.
I need something pink.
Like a little
Cece.
cardigan and some New
61,
Balances.
doll. How are you?
Little trainers.
Little brooch.
Oh my
Something rainbow.
God, I want a cardigan so bad. a
Cece, how
little
are you? It's good to
jumper.
see you.
Oh, like a cosmic
I don't know the
sweater.
lingo of the youth.
Pearls, mama.
Yeah.
Oh, mama the pearl.
Mama the pearl.
Mama the pearls.
I love to tour. I'm stuck in the awe of mama. Also, whenever you are tired and want to go, by the way, just tell me. Don't stress about staying
Well,
on.
we normally stream until
Like 45 more minutes?
yeah, but if you like want to stream for longer, if you don't have other stuff, I can stay longer.
Girl, whatever you want. I
'Cause
just
I
know
don't,
you've
I
been
don't want
up.
to just leave you after like what, like an hour.
Oh, no, but I started late. It's my fault. So I'm just saying, if you get to a point where you're like, I'm tired, don't worry. You're
I'm
fine,
having fun
baby.
so far. I should be fine for now.
Okay.
Girl, where is this killer?
Oh, there's an issue with gifts? Oh, no.
What?
Have you seen the gifts in your chat yet? Does your channel have it?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
It's like rolling out so slowly, but it's fun.
I feel like I never get anything.
Girl.
I don't know what it is. Like, I never get anything. This, like, what you call it? The gifted subs thing for the vertical.
You got that,
There
right? I saw it
were
on your thing.
streamers getting, like, 50
Oh,
gifted
yeah.
subs.
I
I
did
was
not.
like, girls, where's mine?
No, yeah. Someone
I didn't get
gifted.
an A.
Someone gifted 5 and got 49 from Twitch. Thank you.
Scared.
Thank you. I didn't hear you come in. You naughty boy.
Oh, man.
Oh shit. I've got me toast.
Was that a man?
Yeah, Reese was bringing me toast.
Oh my God, Reese's in his pieces.
Yeah, Reese's Pieces.
Reese's, you got me in pieces.
Yes, you got me in
Reese,
pieces.
can I see your piece?
Reese's,
That's you,
show me your
that's me being
pieces.
you. I would never say that to him.
You can.
That's harassment.
used to
I
me,
wouldn't
it's
say
okay.
that. Yeah, do you make jokes like you do with me with him?
Oh yeah, I'm
Okay,
awful.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like some couples are just like so different with
Girl.
each other than they are with their friends, and like it irks me.
No,
Like, aren't
no.
they supposed to be like your best
Exactly.
friend? Like,
Exactly.
Hello.
Exactly. I wish you saw like a, like Big Brother type footage of us when we're in a mood, because you'd be cracking up. Oh yeah.
Oh, what the hell?
Soon, Trace.
Okay, Carla, this screaming perk is so good. I'm sorry.
Puffin, I could never.
It's like
Mikey,
I'm all ears for
hello.
survivors.
Guys, that's so cute.
Oh, I forgot how much I
We'll be
hate
doing a
this
cooking
killer.
stream together. At some point.
That's the one I didn't want to sell.
As Gordon Ramsay. Mm.
Let me just mend myself. I need to see it too. And oh, sorry.
Oh my god, Jules, that's so cute. What the hell? He is lovely. It's very sweet. Mikey, you have so many drops. That's so funny. Pokemon World's happening. Watch all the competition. I don't think so, Zon. When is it? The toast isn't that big. It's just my hands. I swear. You know what that means? Small gloves. Jules, I love too. Be as cute as you want. This weekend, Friday, Sunday? Oh, I don't think so. I'm going to be pretty busy. Henry? Are you watching? I wish I could go. Oh. It's probably on when I'm sleeping too. I feel like Abby Lee Miller has... Miller has definitely watched my stream. You doing the... Is it Mud Run? What is it called? I'll probably see clips though, but... Hell yeah. I love to talk. Oh. Mmm. A local mall? Chris, let me at him. Cute.
Carla, sorry, I don't know if you're still
Hi,
talking.
baby.
MMR reset,
Mm.
and it's balancing, so some of our games are going to be a bit weird.
Okay.
Like, the killer might be really strong or really weak. It's kind of up in the air.
Okay. Oh my god, the gifts. That's a cat.
Girl, run.
Run.
Run,
Run.
baby.
Run
Run to
like
that
the
exit gate.
wind.
Protect her ass.
I'm protecting the right, you protect the left. Oh, you want to heal? All right,
oh.
baby, sure.
Oh
That's
my god.
boon. Holy shit.
Oh my god, and I have 6% high. Where is she going?
Girl, leave it. Okay.
Was she?
Girl, I'm over this shit.
I'm sorry, but the way she just ran into the goddamn wilderness in the opposite direction was so funny. Oh, she's here.
Girl.
She's like, okay, thanks for the heals, bye. Oh, where'd you guys go?
Where'd you guys go?
Where'd you guys go? Guys.
Ugh. I would love to. Okay, right.
Oh, I just opened your chat and I can see the gifts. What? Do I get like a thing?
It
Like
will
an
be obvious.
email?
You'll get like on your stream manager and your chat, you'll see it.
Oh God.
I got it like
you
5 days after Crispy.
Christmas. Did you ever oh, let me equip this perk quickly. Someone was suggesting I do Fogwise
Wait.
for a full aura repair. While repairing, whenever you hit a great basic skill check, you see the killer's aura for 6 seconds. Oh my God.
Girl, you're obsessed with Aura. I'm just gonna quickly put some Milo in my hot chocolate because it
Yeah,
just
go ahead,
tastes
go
like
ahead.
milk. I swear cafes don't know how to make a good hot chocolate these days.
Oh, they just bloody don't these days, do they?
I just heat up milk. Whole filling season in New York without me? funny. Oh god, guys, my whole body is still so sore from the gym. I'm a sore girl. Oh god, my whole body is just aching. Okay, sorry. Already up. Who's Jim? Oh yeah, Jim and I had a great session last night. Yeah. No, but honestly, so sore. Holy shit. Like I get out of the car and I'm making noises. I'm not proud of it, but it is what it is. Also, Cece, thank you so much. Everyone, thank you so much. I feel like I try not to talk over Gran a lot. So I've been missing messages, but I appreciate you. I think I'll do funnel runners when Gran goes. If you're down. Today will be another small but mighty stream. Because I have everything now. So I want to set everything up. I got to get rid of all the flowers in the house, like the fresh flowers, because while she's getting settled. And then I want to mop as well. And then I got to go to Pet Barn for her food. Yeah, Tammy, if she wants, I'm down. How was your Zomboid? I was lurking until I slept. 5k raise, hell yeah. I would like to go for a walk this afternoon as well, because my body is so sore. Okay. Let's go. Also, guys, I made a curse thumbnail. I've been loving making, like, bad thumbnails. They're really fun. Like, this is a peak thumbnail. Like, bad, right? But that's the point. Like, I just love making them. Can you stop, old woman? I've just been making, like, bad on purpose thumbnails, and it's really fun. I'm having a great time. How many grams of Vegemite do you use in your toast? Good question. I actually don't know. I'll say 10 for a laugh. Sully, I know, I love it, Sully. It's so stupid. We all use, like, these bad photos of each other, and then I purposely use my cigarette photo.
I think this killer is undetectable.
Really?
Because I am not seeing them. Oh,
who
well,
fucking did that? What a
no, all
loser.
of China knows you're here, Aurora.
Oh, shut up, bitch.
Oh, my
Heavens
name's
to
Aurora
Betsy.
too. Did you know back home I'm like Jesus?
Jesus. Wait, can I tell you a funny joke? Well, I thought it was funny.
Yes.
You might not laugh. But I was fixing my hot chocolate, telling Reese about how you asked if, like, I'm similar with him like I am with you. And then he goes, yeah, like, I feel like you're more on when you stream. He's like, which makes sense. And I go, do you just call me a moron? It was really good in the moment. Never mind.
Gag.
Yep. Anyway,
You got him.
it was funny in the moment,
He's
guys.
definitely
I
coming
swear.
this way. Be careful, be careful, be careful.
No,
Oh,
it's not.
Never mind.
No. Oh. Taking
That's
the
'cause
weekend off
the-
streaming for Gaz.
This is so bad. I can't see this goddamn killer.
Oh my god, with all your
With the
perks.
aura.
But
This
I
is
might stream
undetectable.
US Saturday.
Carla,
A
you
little
don't understand.
bonus.
I took off Balance Landing for an aura perk to make
I'm
auras last
playing.
longer. And now I can't see the bastard.
Girl, that's why you don't bring aura perks.
But they're so good all
That's
the time.
why
except
you
for now.
don't bring them. No, I'm kidding.
So hold on. If I cannot see him, then he can't see me with object of obsession.
Girl, that's crazy.
Right?
That's
Is that
crazy.
right?
Well,
Someone
surely,
confirm.
right?
Someone confirm.
Dev.
Producer.
Blaine, no.
Well, at least
oh, I'm a
object-
vile
Your
woman.
parents are faster.
I'm vile.
6%.
I'm the worst
apparently he still
person.
sees me,
How are you?
and I just don't
How was
see him.
today?
So I'm literally just free.
I'm joking. No,
Oh, he's here, Mama.
no, Sully. Yeah, I would like to do a bonus.
Why is that not working?
If I can, I will. If not, US Sunday, I'll definitely
I'm
be
li-
back.
I was
But I'm gonna
looking
try
at
US
him.
Saturday.
Hello?
I'm off tomorrow because I am getting Gabs tomorrow. Sodium is so high. True.
Oh,
I mean, if you have a little bit of
who
it,
did that? Was that you?
is it fine? No, I wish. Storming here.
Oh
What
my
the
god,
hell?
that's so. Oh, I can see his aura for 10 million years.
I boomed the middle building.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's Shadow Step. Yes, bless your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I love Shadow Step.
I love to tour.
Okay, yesterday, there was a Claudette. I was playing the killer, the new one, and she put a Shadow Step in the middle of the game, like the game map. And it was messing me up so bad. And legitimately, I didn't see this girl the entire game. I couldn't track her because I didn't see her until the end when I killed her.
Oh.
That boon,
Boring.
mama, it's strong.
Boring. I feel like every day starting tomorrow is just going to be exciting, especially for the first 2 weeks. Because every day is going to be something new with Gabby. How fun is that? I don't know. I don't know what I'm
OBC's
going to do with
horrible.
myself. It's the first time I've gotten a new cat since I was 16. Like, and I'm 30. So it means
I'm not
that
gonna
it's
lie,
going to
we're
be a
kinda-
different experience.
Blasting through these games
Hope the storms are okay, guys.
with the Jans.
I agree. You know what? Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Lately, skill checks have been so fast and like in a position where you can't react quickly.
child!
Riot
Girl,
underscore
come and
ghost
get me.
type
Come on.
just subscribed.
Come get
Hey
me, baby.
girl.
Oop.
Come on.
Nick,
Come and get
hello. Happy 65.
are you?
Guys, girthy resubs in the arena today. Jesus Christ. I'm so
I see you,
excited, Zoe. I'm
baby.
excited like that we're starting this journey
And I literally have your aura now.
as a community too.
Ah,
feels like our cat.
Ah,
Girthy.
yes.
How are
Oh my
you,
god, I love
Jill?
the screaming perk so much.
I'll be able to catch up with you guys properly when it's just me soon. I have so much to talk to you about. Whoa. Eric, hello. No, why?
5-gen loop incoming.
Amy. Triple Dig. Okay, Flex. Thank you. How are you?
Ooh, do I make this-
100.
Ugh. Oh no.
We're really doing it. We're really doing it.
Oh, I gotta leave.
I can't wait to show you the photos again after this. I'm
Did he not
exhausted.
see me?
Hello.
Oh, I think he lost me. Not bad, good size.
A good size.
Just gonna heal up here if nobody minds. I mean, honestly.
I
Hi, Heather from Harcourt's here. Have you had her on your TikTok, by the way?
no. Yes, I'm high maintenance, but I think you gotta be. Oh, I'm gonna die in a
Girl,
second.
there is this New Zealand real estate agent
Oh
on
wait,
TikTok. Her
maybe
name
I
is
have.
Heather.
What does he? What
Yes.
does she do?
She goes, "Hi, Heather from Harcourt's here. Just making myself a potato and leek soup tonight. So here's what I like to do." And she will show you a house, and sometimes she cooks.
What? I think I've seen something to do with cooking. That sounds familiar.
Girl, she's so funny. We're opening a gate. Let me go to the other one just in case.
I am getting chased by Ghostface.
Okay, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna get the other gate open just in case. Oh, I see you. I see you, baby.
Shaking that ass. Shaking that ass. Oh fuck! I got caught in the rock.
Oh,
No,
pallet,
don't
pallet, pallet.
touch
You're
me.
under a pallet.
Okay.
Crawl, crawl, crawl.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Sorry. I got caught on the
So
rock.
close.
That's such a funny gif of Chris. Yep.
Am I opening this or what?
Lockdown protocol.
shit,
I
okay,
found
go.
that Sully hidden in my hard drive, and I went, I'm uploading this.
Girl,
Isn't it fun? Shaping hello.
I don't think he sees me,
Um,
so there's a gate 99 over here.
I'm uploading, by the way, on main, the full
Oh my God, I can't reveal
playthrough of
him.
the forest with Chris and I because I only
I
uploaded
think
10.
he's running an add-on or
two
something,
10-minute
'cause
videos.
I'm looking at him and it's
It's such a good
happening.
playthrough. It's 4 hours.
Oh, my screaming was interrupting me opening the gate. That's so funny. I didn't know that happened.
Girl,
I was like, why can't I open this damn gate? I just kept screaming. So immersive.
anyway, I just started blasting,
Anyway, I just started screaming.
I'm
Where is
leaving.
the other survivor?
I'm fucking leaving.
Where's the other survivor?
Sully, see?
Oh, I see her. Girl, get out. Come on. Come on, baby.
Thank you guys, by the way, so
Don't make
much.
me- Oh my god, they're
I just
flashlighting
feel like
him.
there's been so much
Girl.
support in general.
Honestly, I hope you. I'm gonna
but
body block her.
extra lately, especially
it.
with
I
Gabs, the
tried.
YouTube.
I
I'm
tried
really-
to body block the toxic
It's
survivor
funny with
so he can get
Granny.
the kill.
It's funny with Granny like giggling in the background, but
Please.
I'm trying to like do as much as I can for you guys with YouTube and streams, and I'm having fun while doing it. And you're all supporting it, and it's actually just kind of mind blowing. I'm very, very grateful. Because in January, guys, it's 9 years streaming. What? What do you mean? Onto my 10 year. That's crazy. Like that's just mind blowing. That I've lasted this long. It's like a quarter of my life, right? Oh, I don't know. But 3/4? I don't know. I'm excited. Striker. I'm excited to check out Funnel, if I can say that. I just did. Let me check my emails. Emails. Oh. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Guys, the 30th anniversary stuff is the pre-orders are coming. The pre-orders. Anyone getting them? I don't think I will, but the cards look really pretty. Star Daughter. Wait, cute. The Pokemon 30th anniversary. Pokemons. I wonder if Chris has already pre-ordered stuff. I feel like the States get everything before us. Which is fine, I understand. But come on, give us a go.
I pray it's the new killer. I pray.
I know, Ray. That's what I'm saying.
A trapper.
I think when Pitch Black came out, he was already
Trapper?
ripping it, and I was like, I have 3 more
And
days
he's
to wait.
upstairs on the other side.
Maybe importing and stuff.
Girl, a trapper on this map is gonna be hell.
Girl, I go through hell trapping.
I go through hell trapping. Girl,
Girl, I go
I
through
hate-
hell.
I hate the trap house.
I hate the trapper.
Oh, girl.
Sorry.
Oh, girl. Oh, no, it's fine. I just saw the killer and I got scared. Girl, stop screaming. Oh, my God. I thought I was meant to scream once on a 40-second cooldown.
Well,
Okay,
I go
he's
through
on me.
hell.
I go through hell overreading. Okay, I see him again. Oh, he's placing traps.
Girl.
I think he's just setting
Baby.
up. I don't think
Hello,
he
doll.
gets.
Oh, fuck. I'm
He
so
did place
bad
a
at...
trap
Guys,
right
look
there.
how
I'll
bad
get
I
rid
am
of it.
at skill checks when I haven't
I'm gonna be
been
this guy's
playing.
worst nightmare.
Bye, Sully. Thank you so much. Hopefully I do see you. Little quick
Oh
1-2
my God.
on Saturday.
I was just about to go and
Have a
disable
good
it.
sleep. It was so great to see you.
He just stepped in his own trap. Okay.
So, what's
so
going
this
on?
is going well. He was carrying her and he's... Why is she in an... What the hell is going on?
Girl, I go
What
through
just
hell.
happened?
I go through hell, Torin.
He just stepped in a trap. Are they farming?
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, I think they're
Yeah.
farming.
I go
don't
through
know.
hell farming. No, a skill check doesn't come in hit. Yeah, I know. I've been missing my skill checks. Listen. Ooh. So what are we doing here? Is this just one big farm?
Girl, the way that I thought she went into the trap, I was about to go disable it. She goes into it, and then I thought, oh, he stepped into his own trap and saved himself.
Girl.
Nope, no, they're just farming. By the way, I just found out, Carla, scene partner, this perk.
Yeah.
While you're in the killer's radius, whenever you look at them, scream, then see the killer's aura for 6 seconds. There's a 50% chance you will scream again. If you do, you see the killer's aura for 2 seconds more. I didn't know that 50% isn't just a one-time thing. So it can be 50% and then another 50%. You could scream like 3-4 times
That
in a
makes
row.
sense because once I did that and I thought I was going crazy. I was like, why am I hooting and hollering?
Yes, I was, but you know what? It's good because you get longer reading.
True.
And I have the Trevor Belmont perk that increases aura reading length by 2 seconds.
I love your new obsession with aura reading, by the way.
I love to read an aura. I love to read an aura. Like your aura right now is giving very wedding cake vibes. You know, like the flavor and the consistency of wedding cake. Like
Rita
the
Ora?
smell. Rita Aurora.
Wait, someone's gonna make that name.
Rita Aurora.
Rita Aurora.
This is like why are they doing this? This is so odd.
I love to tour.
I love the tour. What, you want me to step into a trap?
Does she have? Do they have a challenge?
I think so. Maybe it's like they want. Maybe it's getting multiple survivors in traps at the same time. Is that a challenge? Or maybe it's just trap them. Like, however, like who cares?
Okay.
Are you resetting the trap, baby? Okay, and then you do that one.
Girl.
I hate when this happens when you're streaming because it's like,
I know, cause like,
girl, I want to play a game.
girl, I could be playing
Whatever.
Funnel Runners right now.
Everybody gotta do their thing. I get it.
Yeah, I get it. It's fine. I
We've all
love to
been there,
tour.
you know. See, I'm just not a challenge. Like I don't really care about the. I used to, but there's so many now. I'm behind on.
I would love to do it one day where I complete all the challenge, all the like things, but
Oh my god.
I don't
Can
know
you
if I could.
imagine?
because there's so many killers I'm not good with, so I won't be able to do it.
You know, you got pretty good with the judgment in that bot game.
I kind of get it now. I think I gotta
You
play
kinda
more.
ate.
Can I? Is there a?
Girl, I'm gonna go do it, Jen. Get me out of here.
Where's a totem?
Oh,
Over
I
here.
cleansed one. I'm sorry.
Nah, I'm joking.
I'm so bald.
I'm
sorry.
bald.
Bop bop boop bop bald boop bop.
I love to
No,
tour.
let me out of here. Oh. Oh. Oh, look at your boon, baby. Look at that.
Thank you.
Is that an everything boon?
Yep.
You out of an everything shower.
Everything, everywhere, all at Boone.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Shower and imagine, okay, Carla, imagine this. You place a boon in your bathroom and you get a speed bonus to showering
Ooh.
and anything bathroom related. For those that spend too long in the bathroom, like me, and we need to lock in, I would
Interested.
take that boon.
I'm interested,
Why can't I
babe.
heal? But girl, if I have a time limit, like if I'm due, oh girl,
You cleansed your boon?
I'll get there. I'll get there quick. How many
Mikey,
damn traps does he
cutie.
need?
What little
This is too
cutie
much.
patootie. You showered your boon? You
They
joined your
can deal
noob?
with it. I'm gonna go find a generator, because quite frankly,
Find a new
I enjoy
doctor.
it. What?
What? Sorry, I was reading out a joke, made me laugh.
What was the joke? I want to hear.
So,
What was the joke?
oh sure, but I talk about my bathroom boons and suddenly I need to find a new doctor. It's funny in the moment.
No, I like it. Oh, by the way, have you played the new Overwatch hero?
Demon?
Yeah.
She's
Did I-
alright.
was I with you when you played it?
No.
I don't think I was. I really like her.
I haven't clicked with her yet, but I can see the vibe.
I genuinely really enjoy playing her, like on a level like with Wu Yang. Like I really enjoy her.
Oh, nice.
But I will say, I don't know what it is, but recently I haven't had much time
Mm-hmm.
to play,
Same.
and I'll jump in, and if I do like all roles queue, usually get tank, and I love hopping on Mauga. Oh my
Girl,
god.
I'm telling you,
Mauga's so fun.
I've been in my tank and DPS era, and I'm loving it. I gotta do more tanks to be fair, but
Yes,
I still
DPS
love
is
it.
fun. I've been playing Reaper in DPS. Reaper, Soldier.
Bastion is my
And-
main at the moment.
Oh, Bastion's so much fun. Oh, I've been getting better at Jetpack Cat too. Oh my
Oh
god.
yes.
Jetpack Cat is nasty now.
Are you telling me you Benson this boon?
My
Thank
okay,
you, girl.
can we ask him?
What that was?
I have question. Yeah, I want to know. I want to know what that was for.
Ask away.
What challenge did you have, Mr.
Slay.
Trapper? Shots for that had to do. Oh, it was an achievement.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Pick up 100
Pick
times.
up one
Mamma mia.
100.
What the hell?
So that's not even.
Surely
like a
I've done that.
trapper.
Surely I've done that.
I feel like you could just get that passively by playing the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Girl. I'm out there getting the damn answers. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about Mauga. Like, I love how he just shoots and survives for so. And I love his charge. Like, stomping on people is so much fun.
I gotta learn. Do you want to play some funnel? Or am I like an absolute sock?
Now, I don't know. I don't know if I have the energy to switch.
True. One more then?
To be honest. Yeah, I could do one more. Yeah.
Alright, perfect.
How much longer are you streaming for today?
I reckon at least 2.5 hours. I'm gonna try for 3.5. I just have a lot of
Okay.
setup to do for my cat.
I would go longer, but
Mm.
I did do a very long
Aren't you at 6
stream
hours?
today.
7 hours?
It's 6 now. I started, it was like quarter to it was quarter to 7 in the morning.
Oh
when I
my
started the
God.
stream. And then the Netflix special went live at 7
Jesus.
a.m. I know. I couldn't believe it.
Girl.
But again, totally worth it. Like
I'll
when
watch some
you
clips.
watch that footage, it's so cool, and you get to see a lot of different details. The IGN, there's an IGN interview
Mm.
where they interviewed one of the co-studio heads,
Yeah.
and they got to see 30 minutes of gameplay footage that we haven't seen. And they
Oh.
give a really good breakdown of what to expect, and that sold me even more. I was like,
Really?
okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, this game is going to literally change the game, like everything.
It looks way too good.
I know. Oh, you want to know something else?
Yeah.
The real gag of the trailer
Yeah.
was, so they did this beautiful 27-minute trailer, and then right at the end,
Mm.
it said, all footage was taken from a PS5. Not a PS5 Pro, not a PC, just a PS5.
Oh
And
shit.
it looked good.
Okay. Sure.
I know. I knew all of the anyone who was hating on the game was gagging. They were like, "Shit, there goes my tweet." When when do you pick up the cat?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, I can't wait to rub that belly. It'll take time, but I can't wait for the day.
I have such a sweet tooth. I thought this map was called something fudge.
It's not?
It's a spirit.
Oh. What? I love how we're getting a spirit over the judgment.
I know, this is really weird. Okay,
Henry,
sorry,
I have to
did
show
not
you
check,
more
Pellet. I do
photos.
apologize to the entire world.
How fucking dare you? No, I'm
Revoke
kidding.
my damn fog whisperer badge, but like, whatever.
I'll show you more when I end with Gran. I'll be able to talk more and explain
Oh
everything.
my
I'm
God.
very excited. I'm literally ending stream to set up my whole apartment.
I'm using every damn pallet in this area.
Mikey, how do you come
Oh,
up
I
with
got
this
stuck,
shit?
I got stuck.
Crack me up.
Okay, that works. I need to go this way.
Oi.
Oh no, I'm sandbagging so badly right now. I'm so sorry. Oh my god!
I love when I love when
That
a
was so
rando.
gaggy.
Yeah, you're a gag.
Oh my
Um,
god!
I love when the rando understands the assignment.
She was gagged in that moment. I fear.
I can
Oh
show
my
you
God,
some
not
of the
this
stuff
again.
I got from Kmart last night. I'll do a little
Girl,
haul.
leave me alone.
Do a little haul.
There will be no
After this.
pallets left on this damn map when I'm done with it. Tell you what.
Oi. Yeah, I'll do a Gabs haul in like 15 min. Hold on to your pants. I just gotta unbox the stuff and I'll show you what I got.
Oh, I think she left me.
I'm gonna mop.
Oh, where's that boom?
After
Oh, it's
stream.
back there. Beautiful.
Gabs haul is just a come with me
Yeah, come
while I unbox my cat. I
Okay.
am gonna try and vlog the first week of her life with me, sorry, and make it into a little video, but I don't know
my
if I'll
God.
remember because she's
That was so
cute.
sad.
Oh,
They
it's
missed a healing
raining.
skill check right as the spirit was there.
Give me some rain. Oh
Not
no,
good.
not good.
Oh, you auto recover now?
Wait, Mikey, yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's really good. We can heal you quick. Stay still,
Listen,
baby.
2 gens, 1 down. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Come with me to unbox my cat.
Run,
and I ain't talking about
don't
the.
walk.
I ain't talking about the feline.
You
I'm talking
crazy,
about my-
crazy girl.
I'm crazy. Sorry.
Come with me to unbox me box.
Come with me to look at my. Oh,
Where's your totem? It's gone. Oh.
did she snuff it already?
She already snuffed your totem.
You snuffed
I was
my
gonna go
toad?
use it.
Fuck.
Oh no, she's coming back for me. Oh, maybe not. Never mind.
Oh,
Oh,
L.
please leave me alone.
L. I will let Gab sniff Mimi's
Oh, she's zooming
though,
around over there. Okay, let me do some.
because they are sisters.
This goddamn sloppy butcher.
They would have been so perfect
Lord.
together. Oh my god. Oh. Snuffed my toe. L. Girl, you crazy. Yeah, Kaz. Prompt real. Honestly, they're very similar. It's very sweet. Oh my gosh, she's bleeding out of her hole. We're not doing too bad. I just gotta finish. Hopefully, she gets distracted enough where she won't come over here. Oh,
Yeah,
they
I-
changed the thing.
Oh, she's going away from the killer shack. She's heading.
Oh, she's coming. Oh, she's
Okay,
coming.
I'll go take over your gen if you didn't finish it.
Okay.
You go take her away. We're so on it today.
Oh, look at her ass.
Oh no.
But also, I got grabbed. Sorry. I'm no better than a man.
Oh my god, I just screamed.
Good
'cause I looked
night,
at her. My bad.
Mikey.
I'm doing it again.
Have a good sleep.
Got all this perk. Okay, I don't think she saw me. Even though I just screamed in her face.
Gonna do the wordle before you do it on stream. Oh my god, Cass, do it.
Did she kick this? Oh, it's covered. Yeah, come in here, baby. Let's finish it.
Alright, sweetheart. You know what I've been doing lately? A stim of mine is I'll, in like our dad voice, like Aussie dad voice, I'll be like, hello, darling. Oh, hello,
Hello.
sweetheart.
She's here. She's here. She's here. Run,
Where,
run,
where,
run.
where? Oh, you have the
I'm so
thing.
sorry. It was the noise of
Yeah, I was like, girl, she ain't here.
was-
She's
there was like a
chasing someone
chain
else.
noise in that building. I thought it was her arriving.
Nah, it's still funny, Mikey. Pick yourself up.
I was about
Still
to jump
funny.
in front of you and sacrifice my body.
Sacrifice my breasts.
What am I looking at over there? Did you see that? That white thing? What is that?
You can't just call me that.
What is that?
That's a pallet that
It's a blocked
is
pallet?
blocked.
God, what the hell?
Girl.
What is even that? Oh, she's coming. Never mind.
Oh wait, can I get?
Does she have that add-on where it's like she's got something with the directional? Oh.
Yep.
Nice.
Still got it, darling. Now she's on me. I'm gonna run this way.
Oh, she's gonna hate you now. Tell you what, she's gonna be on your ass. Oh, hello? Guess not.
I'm healing this man if you wanna join me.
I would love.
I love to heal.
If only we had Bioself. Did you hear that?
No?
It was the character talking.
Oh, she's so loud.
If only we had Bioself.
I love
Oh
to
god,
heal.
here we go.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get this save.
I see your aura. Because I'm Aurora.
Aurora.
The aura reader. Oh, she left me? You gotta get into this aura. Girl, what if you also ran this build?
Girl,
Please, us both running the same.
let's do the same build next week every game.
Okay,
like a
okay.
different build every game, but like the same build.
We will. Okay, I will look. We can look them up in advance before, so we have
Yes.
a list of like.
Yeah, that's fun
builds.
actually. Yeah. Let's just
Actually, I
test all
don't
these
know,
builds.
Can multiple survivors run Object of Obsession?
I think so, yeah. They
I think
haven't
you
changed
can,
anything.
right?
No, I
Could you
think,
imagine if every survivor ran it?
girl,
Ugh. I love it now. I love the drama.
I love to tour. Oh, nice.
So I'm halfway on a
2
gem,
gens
someone else
working.
halfway.
Perfect.
I do fear she has what, Dead Man Switch or something? So she's probably gonna knock me off this.
Okay. Or at least someone is... Yeah, you're still on this one. They got knocked off the other one.
Okay, I'll stay on this one and then get you. Is she going back? She might be going back to you. Oh, she's over there. Okay.
I love to tour. Shit.
I love the tour. Everyone is gonna see her aura with my next token
Okay.
in 15 seconds. Because this is esports. This is
Girl.
esports. Now, where was their gen? Oh, it's right here.
Oh, we're doing it.
Nice.
Oh, we're winning. We're winning.
We're doing it.
We're really doing it.
And then it's a door. You guys do the door. I will
Wow.
see if I can get over here. Quietly.
Opening the escape.
This person's right next to a door, but... oh, God.
Oh, I think this guy's
She's
wake
here.
up. Oh, yeah, it's going super fast. I'll go...
I'm gonna need someone else here.
I'm on my way.
Do a double save. She is face camping, so the meter doesn't go down, right?
You can't... I don't think it works endgame, right?
Oh, true.
Or am I don't know.
forgot.
I could be wrong.
Okay, we have...
They've changed so much. I'm going to it.
Oh. What the hell? She went away?
She probably thought it was just you.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Go straight, go straight, go straight. Go left at this thing. The door's open.
Oh, mama. Oh, she's on my ass.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Who's she gonna pick?
Did we make this?
Oh, he didn't open the door.
Girl! Open the door! Oh my god, no!
Oh!
No! Okay, she has to pick one of us.
Oh, who you gonna pick?
No!
That's okay, that's okay.
Girl! I wonder. Oh, you were on death hook, girl?
Yeah, baby. It's alright. Go out,
Shit,
go
I should
out.
have taken the hit. My bad.
Does she have blood water? That'd be hilarious. If we did. Like, not funny.
There. Honestly, we had such a funny chase at the start, though. I dropped a pellet on her, like, as she was invisible. She swung
Great.
into it. I love that kind of shit.
I love to tour. Wait.
What?
Oh. My DVD was on my old audio setup, so it's been on my music track, so the VOD will have no
Oh, great.
DVDs.
So it's just gonna be you talking.
Oh no. Okay, well at least I figured it out now and not for the rest of the stream. Whoopsies. Alright, well that's good. 99 in the door in this economy? That's shit. Girl, go relax. You've earned it.
Girl, I am.
I love to
Yeah.
tour.
I was like, oh yeah, I could keep streaming, but yeah, I guess it has been like over 6 hours.
Oh
and
my
I gotta
god.
I know.
Girl, I
But that
love
was
to tour.
fun.
That was fun. We'll do earlier next week and do our normal.
Earlier.
Well, I mean like normal time. Sorry. me
Gah.
earlier. You normal.
Me earlier, you normal.
That's what
Okay,
I'm saying.
Cave girl.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving cave girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And we will do that.
All right, baby.
All right, I will see you soon, baby.
I'll see you, baby.
All right, bye.
Bye. Let's do. I got for Gabs. Some yaps. Then funnel. Okay, cool. Hello, I can yap. Is anybody still here? Hello. In this economy, the new Fort season, I haven't. Is it good? Is it good though? I'm gonna show some stuff I got for Gabs, and I'll show some of the photos that you might not have seen, Henry, as well. And then we'll do a little bit of dailies, and then if you're down, I really want to see the new update for Funnel. New mini games. What do we have? Improved van spawn position. Added lack of brake fluid van issue. Added broken spark van issue. Added reaction mini games. What? Gabba Gabba Hall. Hi, Winter. It was sweaty at first, so I hated it, but now it's settled. Oh, okay. Added effort minigame. Oh, there's new minigames? Oh my god. Have you got a new puss in Grand Stream? I did. Yep. Brand new puss.
Put your ass away, child!
Emily Gig just subscribed.
I don't want to get
You'll
rid of
never
you,
get
dog.
rid of me, Carl's done.
Why would I want that? Hi, Ozzy. I'm good. I don't think I slept well last night, but I'm very excited for Gabby. Very excited. I'm gonna get some stuff. I'm gonna bring my the box in and show you some of the little things that I got. Emily, thank you for 61. How are you? Hello. We're getting the kitty tomorrow. So lots of setup this afternoon. I'm very excited. Very excited. I'm going to be doing like her litter. I'm getting her food after stream. Speaking of, when does Pet Barn close? Pet Barn. I think it's 6 p.m. Perfect. Yeah, he's excited. He's excited. So I want to get some of the stuff. I want to show you some of the little things that I got her. I'll go grab it in a second. I'm so excited. I know. I'm so excited. And Sarah, I'm so excited. Okay, I'll go grab. Granny.
I think this is one of these fire masks. Let me try.
Hello, my love. I'm about to go grab some of the stuff I got for Gabs.
I think it's a good. Okay.
For those who don't know, I'm getting a kitty. And she's really cute. She's very, very cute. She's 9 months old. And she has the cutest little beans. I'm very excited. I'll show you some more photos. I love her beans in this photo. By the way. So this is Gabriella. I'm probably going to call her Gabs or Gabby Moore. She's going to make some cute emotes. I know. So I'm just about to go. I received a delivery with some of the stuff. So I'm going to show you some stuff that I got her. I'm very excited. I know. I'm really excited. So I'm picking her up tomorrow. But thank you for the raid, Granny. I appreciate you. We'll play more next week. Let me go grab. We'll do a little Gabby haul. Let me go grab some stuff. Guys, I made a mistake. Look at the size of this litter box. I swear to you, it was advertised as a normal, small litter box. And she's tiny. It's huge. She's like tiny. What? Could you even get in it? Look, I can probably get in it. What the hell? Right. Right. No, I think she'll grow with it. I think she'll grow with it. I think it's ridiculous, but I think she'll grow with it. Otherwise, Mummy's got a new toilet. Alright, well, let me grab the other stuff, but I just discovered that. Hold. I think we'll be fine. And look how small the scoop is for the size of the thing. Look how small the scoop is. I'm just gonna get everything in here because it's taking. I just gotta. Okay, hello. So, we're going full cam. Those in vertical, don't worry about it. Okay, so this thing. Now listen. Listen here. I want you to understand that I want to take her for a walk. So I did get a little harness. I'm gonna just see if I can train her. I'm gonna see if I can train her. Look how little this is. Stop. So cute. I'm gonna see what I can do, okay? It might not work out, but I'm gonna see what I can do with this. Cutest cat moment ever. I am obsessed. You're not even ready for something I'm about to show you. You're not ready. This is what Mimi had actually, but it's a new one. It's... I keep forgetting how big stuff is, and she's a baby, but this is for her bowl to go on. It's like a little feeding mat, but it's a rainbow. But it's her own little like area, but it's a rainbow. Gay cat agenda! Now, this is interesting. Hear me out. So we were going to Kmart and we're getting some stuff, and I was like, I really want to get her something that's not a cat toy, that it can be her friend and she can bring to me. So I got this cat pram toy, but what I'm going to do, well, baby pram toy, I'm going to cut this thing off. I'm going to cut this bit off, and this is going to be her ducky. Because it's really... Oh! Okay, it squeaks. But I thought this could be her little friend. So I'm going to cut this bit off. It was like $4. I'm going to cut this off, and I think she'll have fun with it. I'm a mother. Surgery and take out the squeaker. Guys, imagine me streaming myself dissecting a fake duck. When it squeaked, I thought you might start crying. Nearly did. Nearly did. Now, you're not ready for this. Okay, it's way bigger than I thought it was again. But I was looking at scratches for her, and I saw this, and I was like, this is so cool. Well, let me just continue on. Let me continue on. This is just a cat wand toy with different attachments. So you've got the gay snake, the gay beads. You just have different attachments for the wand, which I think is cool. So we can see which one she likes best. Gay beads, yeah. She's gonna be gay as hell, bitch. But yeah, so I got her this, which is really cool. Love. I got her this, which if you have cats, you know that they love this. Like Mia went through these. She would tear this shit up. So I got her this. Yes, Cass. But I forgot about this. The other thing that I ordered goes triple platinum. No, it does. It really does. Now, here's the thing. I don't know how I'm going to show you this next thing. So I'm going to see if I can show you. If not, I can show you the website. But this is just a cat bed. Just for if she needs to, like, settle in her own room. At least she has this to sleep on. But anyway. Let me see. It's a huge box. I don't know if I can show you. Oh my god, it's huge. Okay, I have to build it. I have to build it, right? But it basically turns into a mini Japanese store. But like you build it, it's like a square. And then you can see them inside. Like they'll be inside and they'll be like, hello. Isn't that cute? So it's a little cardboard house, but it's she's gonna be in business. I told her you need to get a job. Stop it. But inside it is a hole. Inside it is another scratcher. This is how big it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be much smaller. Again, she's tiny. I don't know why I was thinking. Here's another side of it. Really cute. She comes in and just steals a sock. Leggies. I know I've royally... Look, this was actually very affordable. It wasn't expensive, which is good. I didn't go expensive, but there were so many times at Kmart where I'd pick something up and Reese and I would go, what are we doing? She just wants a shoelace, you know? But like, I want to give her an option and I want her to have as many bits of fun for her while I'm streaming, especially, or if I have to like duck out to the shops, whatever. I want her to have a bit of a playground to pick. You know what I mean? It's so worth it. Yeah, and then this, I need to open it. Hold. Let me just put this away. Full enrichment. My cat watching like, do you even love me? Like Mia really didn't. Mia, when she was she loved to play hide and seek. But she wasn't really a toy girl. Hope she's the kind of cat who appreciates it. I definitely think she is. She's very cuddly. And she loves to play. I already did get her a little cat tunnel from Kmart because she loves the tunnel at her foster carers. This is not really exciting, but I'll show you anyway. I know. All they want is like a shoelace or a sock. Why did they make this so locked up? Is it glass? It shouldn't be glass. Girl. Girl, what the hell? I love to tour. What in the parcel is this? Did I have more to show you? Where's the other stuff? Where did I put the other stuff? I swear this amount of bubble wrap was not needed. What the hell is this? Sorry about the noises, if you can hear it. It's not even cute. I don't even need to unwrap this. You're gonna see this and be like, okay. Oh, I saw an automatic toy and I was like, nah. Like, it would be good if I, like, when she's older. But she's gonna be babysat when I go to Melbourne. Is that hurting your ears, guys? Or is that okay? Is this not the most excessive bubble wrap ever? Or am I a sock? It's fine? Okay. Thank you. Is this so not worth the wait for this? My bad, guys. It's okay? Okay. I know. I wish I could bring it to Melbourne too. I did get it hasn't arrived yet. It's actually really, it's like one of those cat bags, but it's also like a carrier. But you never know. She might end up loving going out and stuff. I'm just really trying to open this and it's just not... I'm adopting, but she has been in foster care. The kitty that I've adopted is, she was in foster care. And she had a really good time in foster care, actually. Take it to the club. This is actually the longest it's taken to get something out. I see why now. That's cute. Okay, wait. I'll get the... I couldn't find anything like... I'm such a... I'm actually getting exhausted. I'm getting exhausted trying to unpack this. There's way too much bubble wrap. They should have just, okay, well, there we go. Okay. Maybe I can get it out now. Jinx, I'm so excited. I don't like bubble wrap after this, though. Okay. This is going to be anticlimactic, guys, but it's okay. Oh my god, 11 kilos on your back. Girl. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. It's literally just a platform. It's just a platform. So she's not bending her neck too much. It's literally just that. That's all it is. That bubble wrap is actually crazy. All they needed to do... But anyway, it's cute. It's not... I wanted to get, like, pink, but I was like, you know what? That's cute, I think. Because she can at least, like... See, I'll show you guys. I'll show you. For legal reasons, this is a joke. But, you know. There. You know? And then... You know what I mean? You know? Perfect. Perfect. Anyway. Perfect cat height. Sold. To be fair, I can't figure out... Yeah, raised... I honestly always loved raised food balls because of Mimi. She would eat too quick and vom. Before I was confused, but thanks to the demo, I understand entirely. So funny. So funny. Yeah, she's very cute. And then the foster carer sent me... Did I put them in here? Sent me more pics. This was her yesterday. Literally her yesterday, having a big stretch on the couch. And then also she was being really cute while she was working from home. And this is my absolute dream. This is what I hope and pray I could get her to be. Now that's the life. Oh, Jinx. That's so fair. Honestly, I understand. I wasn't planning on it either. I was very much, I wouldn't say against it, but I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then I saw her face and I went, I'm going to do it. Gab's the mod in a month's time. I can't wait till she does this with me. It's honestly, I feel like I'm going to just melt. And then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. One drinks from the dog bowl and the other from the bathroom sink. That's why I didn't do the water fountain. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go basic and see what she evolves into. Prom, I hope so. She's so cute. Yeah, honestly, what I've learnt through all this is I was feeling guilty at first with the idea of a new pet. And then I had a lot of, I talked to a lot of people and they're like, girl, you're giving a cat a new home and you're pouring your love into a new chapter. Like, it's not something to feel guilty for. Like, Mimi would have wanted you to have cuddles and, you know, she would have loved Gabs too. They would have been best friends. So, like, it's okay, you know? Binks loves his water fountain. Yeah, I think once she settles in, I'll try and figure out some stuff. I can't believe how big that litter box is. Shoot. I think the cat fountains were a fad that were lied to about. Some cats love it. Yeah, definitely. I feel like some love it, some don't. For sure. The vet told me to buy them the fountains. Cats prefer constant running water. It's madness. Mm-hmm. A mini pool? Cute. That's adorable. Anyway, so basically everything that I ordered was huge. I didn't think the Japanese thing I got was going to be huge. This is what it looks like made. I'll show you. I'll show you what it looks like because it's very cute. Here it is. That's so cute. This is what it looks like. That's what it looks like. So it's all set up and then they're looking at you inside the shop. Because I was like, you know what? Like, worst case, if she doesn't like it, I'll donate it to a cat, like another family. Like, either way we win, you know? But she might love it. You don't know. But I kind of want to just give her a few areas in the house to, like, see what she likes the most. Because she's 9 months, you know? Jinx, for sure. For sure. Hi, Francis. Hi, Spark. Anyone that I missed as well, hello. Give us some options. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that is Little Miss Gabs, who I can't believe it, who I'm getting tomorrow. So yeah. My friend has something similar. Whenever she's looking for a cat, she checks to see if she's working a shift. That's so cute. Stop it. She's actually a little droplet of love. She's adorable. I love it. I'm excited for Mum to meet her. Mum's been sick as well. I literally every day this week I've messaged Mum and been like, how are you? Because I think she got sick from my nephew. So we've all been sick. And I'm like, have you had drugs? She's like, no, I'm just having Mandarin and blah, blah, blah. And then yesterday after stream, I was like, I'm sick of this. I'm sending you some soup and I'm sending you heaps of drugs to help you get better. And she said she felt so much better already. I'm like, I had to be the mother. I had to be like, you have to take drugs. Like, I know she's very like, she's super, super conscious of what she's putting in her body. And I love that about her. But like, you need some help here because your mandarins aren't cutting it. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to put your foot down and go, you need some drugs. It's the end of winter, yeah, so it's going to be spring in a couple of days. Yeah. Anywho, should we do our dailies before I do some funnel? I'm doing a smaller stream today. I just have heaps to set up. But next week will be back to normal, I promise. Precious baby. Also, if you don't know the tube, guys, I have a few videos scheduled. They're all long form. I'm doing some like smaller ones, like actually properly like edited funny ones. But here's my thumbnail for this peak video. It's bad on purpose. I'm loving using this photo. Like, this photo, I've been using it for every thumbnail. I can't. I'm obsessed with using the smoky. And look, I'm holding a lollipop. Perfect. But yes, I'm obsessed with bad thumbnails, okay? Let me live. The fuck ass photo of Crispy and me with my cigarette. I can't deal. I can't. But I'm really loving making stupid thumbnails. They make me really happy. Anyway, shall we do some dailies, guys? Should we say goodbye to Gabs? Speaking of, so tomorrow I'm not streaming, so I'm grabbing Gabs. The next day, there's a chance that I might pop on for a little mini stream, like maybe like water park sim and some just chatting. But it depends, like if I need to keep an eye on Gabs or it's just not the right time, then I'll be back normal time US Sunday. Thanks, music. But yeah, see you soon, Gabs. I'm sure I'll show more photos of her because people keep coming in going, hey, did I miss some news? Where's Wordle? But so exciting. I know, it's actually cute how excited you guys are as well. Also, Beck, hello. Did it arrive today or maybe Monday? Maybe Monday. Gabby. Sorry. She's so cute. I know I keep talking about it, but just let me. It's actually super exciting. Sharing the experience with you guys, like getting a cat and like you're here from the start, you know, because you all met Mimi when she was 6. Yes, when I started streaming she was 6 years old. Very cute, but like, you know, it's very. And when I got Mimi I was 16 and I didn't get to see a lot of her development because I was at school. So oh my god. Wait, penis? E-N. Enema. How do you spell enema? Crazy. So there's 2 E's. Thanks, Cass. Imagine that was enema. Preen. Okay. So that's good, but there's no R. There's no R. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Pony. Pony's like, fuck. Glean. No. Oh, there's no G. Sorry. Split. No. Delete. Helene. Talene. Willeen. Clean with an E. Oh, music cutie. Tween? 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 What the hell? I'm calling the cops. The hell? Alright, sure. Sure. Would you guys be down before I skedaddle? I'm doing my dailies obviously now, but would you be down if I did some funnel runners update before I go? Kind of hate that I was right, yeah. 2 hours of Strands. I'm so bad at Strands. Reese loves to play Strands though. I know, my ads are all cat stuff. Guys, the other day, so here it is, look, there it is. So the other day I was playing this, and so if you don't know, I was trying to keep it a secret. I told Reese yesterday, he's like, oh, you fumbled already. I'm like, I know, like we wanted to keep it a secret, and then like she shows up naturally, and then everyone's like, what? So it was a secret, right? And everyone's like, oh, so when's the next step? When's the next step? And at that point, I've already signed the, like, she's mine, you know? And I was like, oh, soon, soon. And then people kept asking, and I was like, I already got it. Like, I just had to tell you, because I was like, fuck. But this came up, Sarah, when I was pretending that I don't have it. And I'm like, oh my God, my ads know I want a cat. Didn't realize you were trying to keep it a secret. I just assumed, yeah. So I was already called out. Some people still won't have seen, so there'll still be that. True, true. Not everyone is here. You know what's so funny? I have to laugh at it. Okay. It was very doy, but it was really funny. Someone came in recently, and I think they've not been around for like maybe a year or a few months. Because you can't always catch a stream. I totally get that. But they came in, and they're like, hey, Carla, hey! How's Mimi? And this was like a week after she died, and I was like, do you want the bad news or do you want the bad news? But like, you have to laugh at it because like, you know, they literally like, how do you know? Like, Mia's such a big part of the channel, and if you're not on socials or if you haven't seen the stream, you're just excited to see Mia, you know? But it was hilarious. Bro maxing cis error. This is like all like, no? Okay. Error maxing coded bro. Yeah. When I came home bring my cat down, a few of my friends came over. Guess my one friend didn't get the exact right message, and she asked my cat came home from the vet. Yep. Yep. Hour, noon, night, morning. Jeffy. Oh. Okay. Stepsis, stepmum. No. I'm shit at this. I'm shit at this. Sleep tight. Sleep easy. Rest easy. Sleep tight. Sweet dreams. Night. Yeah. Yeah. Nice, guys. Nice, guys. Mum, pop, sit. No. Morning, noon. Hour. Line. I want to get this. Pops, mum, sis. Stepmom, stepsis. Step line. Line step. Morning step. Step morning. Pops, mum, sis, line. Alright, we have one thing. What the hell? Top spot. Step. I'm baffled. Pops. Okay, let's think. Is there anything? Noon. 2 O's or O's. Oh, I don't know. This is when it's like the sneaky one. Afternoon, after hour, after line, after pops, after sis, after morning. Konami, how are you? Noon, hour, top spot, morning. Noon, hour, top spot, morning. Top of the hour, top of the line. Oh. We knew that. We knew that. We knew that. Yeah. They really... How dare they? Bundle of joy. Bundle, bale, ream. Sheet, throw, comforter. Ream? What's the fourth one? Sheet, throw, comforter, sham? Nice, nice, nice. Boulevard, no. Oh, sheet room is paper, you're right. Oh, never mind. I got excited. Ream, bundle, bale. Rolls Royce. What's Royce got to do with it? What the hell? Oh, got a message. She's super chatty today. I got a video. I got a video. I got a video. She just sent me a video. Let's watch it together. Oh, wrong person. I just sent it to Granny. She said she's super chatty today. What the fuck? This is exciting. I haven't heard her meow. Hi. That's what Mimi used to do. Hi. Oh shit. Let me send this to Chris. Oh my god. Meow drop. I'm just gonna message her. I gotta show this to Reese, wait. Oh my god. Let me see what she said. Stop. She sent me another photo. I love that she's just sending me this stuff. I'll show you. Sammy has 3 kitties. Guys, I can't believe we heard her meow for the first time together. Let's listen to it again. Stop. Mia I'm only saying this because I'm now calling them sisters. This is what Mia used to do. Like, she always did this. That is so cute.
Hi.
Oh my god. And then she's having her tunnel time right now. I got the same tunnel from Kmart. Oh my god, she's having her tunnel time. I'm honestly, oh, that meow is in my soul. I'm getting ready for her to be like, actually, I wanna keep her, and I wouldn't be mad. But oh my god, she's so beautiful. She's so cute, guys. That's our cat. That's our cat. Oh my god. That would be a perfect emote for a badge. Her little head popping out. Way cute. Like a little little lurky. They're actually, like, if someone said, oh, actually, we did tests, that's Mia's daughter, it would make sense. They are so similar. It's so cute. I would take it, not to be dramatic, but I would die for Gabby. Lurk, unlurk, popping in and out. Baby. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of Gabs emotes. Oh my god, that is actually crazy. Rose, thank you for the lurk. If I've missed anything, by the way, guys, I'm sorry. I just heard my cat meow for the first time on video. So cute. This is not a drill. This is not, drill, what a bore. I know music. Yeah. She's actually so cute. She was in play mode, Cass. So not that much, but she did let Reese pat her, and I got like a quick pat in, and she did take a treat from me. But she was playing the whole time. She was very much in play mode. She was playing with her shoelace. And then she did a poo, and then she came back to play more. It was really funny. She went to her litter box, and then came back. Her litter box is so big. Do you reckon it'll be fine for her to use that? Surely she can get in it, right? I fear you leave the universe. Oh my god. The first time she climbs up on me, I'm going to probably cry. Bale, Rolls Royce. Oh wait. Phoenix, Jordan, Bale. Yeah, actors' names. Reem, Bundle. Countersink. I'm trying to think what these have in common. Well, yeah. Oh. Hold. This has just made me tear up. Oh my god, so cute. Oh. I didn't sleep well, I'm emotional. Oh my god. She just said, oh, my heart. She said, oh. Sorry, God. It reminded me of Mimi. Oh, help, help. Where's my Discord? Oh. Oh my god. She got me. She sent a message and she said, it's like she knows it's our last day together. I'm like, girl, stop. I'm like, are you sure? Oh, God, you got me. I'm sending her this photo. I sent her this. She goes, I feel like she knows our last day together, but she's very excited to come to a new home. And I said, girl, I just teared up. Are you sure about it? And she goes, me too, but I know she's going to the best home. And then I sent her this. It's me crying. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. Ah. Ah. I don't know this woman from a bar of soap, and I'm sending her a photo of me crying. Oh, I just got here. Sorry. It's just so cute that they're cuddly. Everything's okay. No, everything's good. We're talking about Sarah. You're like, drill, bore, ream. No, I don't know her. I met her when we were doing the meet and greet, but she sent me the video and went, I think she knows it's our last day together, and it's like them cuddling, and I was just like, oh, like that's so precious. If anything, it's like, it's cute. Like I'm not like sad. I'm just like, oh, that got me. I'm gonna need floor time to recover from second cat joy. Oh. Countersink? Okay. Oh, nice. Performing some whole machining operations. Guys, Sarah, thank you. Guys, I apologize. I didn't expect that video to get me. It's just so cute. And I love cats. It's so cute. Like, that just honestly melted me. True. It has been an emotional week. True. I didn't sleep well last night. I'm emotional. It's okay. Perfectly healthy to get it out. It just happened to be a cat cuddling their foster carer that got me. Poople. Get it out. Get it out. Isn't it crazy how sometimes you don't realize something will get you? Like there's no way in hell, like it's cute, but there's no way in hell I thought that was gonna get me. Like I did not, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you just get got. Joels. Gals, thank you. Gaps. Paps. Pops. Pope. Pole. Pole. Pool. Poop. Yep. Pork. Oh, yeah, we somehow got it. Opened a birthday cake themed cake boxing today and got hit with realization. This Saturday will be my first B day with no family with me. Oh, B. Yeah. I definitely understand all these little moments that make you just like have a little moment. But you know what? It's incredibly healthy to feel. So as much as I didn't expect to have a bit of a cry, totally normal, very healthy. There you go. It's alright. It was just so beautiful. Like, cause I think when I saw that video, I remembered my last day with Mimi, and she was so cuddly in the morning. It was like, she was usually cuddly, but she was it was different. It's like she knew. I think it made me just feel that a little bit, and I was like, any other Virgo baddies? Mum's a Virgo baddie. True, Cass. True. Honestly, it's a combination, like in the best way. Like I feel like I'll still have moments for Mimi where I'm just like, ooh. But I think just seeing how much Gabs loves the foster carer, and I know that, you know, she'll love me too, but just seeing how much love they have together is really cute, because it's like what Shan and Chris do is amazing when they foster. It's like, that's really beautiful, you know? Yeah, Sarah. True. Bing, I hope so. I hope so. Prepared for the shutdown when it happens. The shutdown. Oh. Final. What a banger song. Oh, what a banger song. Nini. You can just chuck the rats at the floor and that does the trick. Bananarama. Drama during online gaming life is weak. Shlote. Happy 6.3 years, Carla. Nye. I love that you're live right now. I needed this hot dog content this morning. Hot dog content. Oh, mother. Side profile of hand holding a chopstick. Side profile of a hand holding a chopstick. What was that? She's on for another hour, yeah. Googly bear. Oh, damn. My bad. Final runners. Delulu. That would be impossible to type. That'd be impossible to type. Whoopsies. I am B. Her name's Gabby. I'm very excited. Channel under investigation. Oh. I was like, what do we do? I know, isn't it cute? Hi, Rose. Mila, hello. Hello. Did something get delivered? Hold. Oh, spectating Harlow. That's keto. What the fuck? This is keto. What the fuck? That's so funny. That's like the easiest one I've ever seen. That Twitch, clip that. We're gonna send that to keto. Literally, okay. For context, this is really hard. I can never get it. Like, you get 6 tries and it's really hard. All I needed was one word to know who it was, and that's keto. He calls me a harlot all the time. Tomorrow we're bringing Gabs home. That's so funny. Look, one. That's so funny. I'm dead. I'm absolutely dead. That's hilarious. What the hell? Guys, is it crazy? I really want to play Funnel Runners. Are you down? Are you down? Oh wait, time. Hard? Hard? I'm good at time. What do you mean? Hard. Hard? What's hard about it? Oh, okay, maybe it is hard. Wait. What? Hello? Is it actually hard? Like, what's different? Like, are the boop 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 boop, is that like to distract you? Or is that something I should know? Like, is that just to like throw you off? Okay, I gotta look in. Jeffy, we can funnel, baby. We can funnel. That'll work out perfectly because I'm going to do a small stream today because I have a lot to do. So if you would like to do that, I'm down. Yeah, the beeps are really shit. I can do better. I can do better. I can do better. Watch this. Watch it. Oh, still not bad. Not bad. Beep. Cute. Yep. Bang. Bang. Sorry. So loud. And for what? I didn't pay attention. My bad. The noises are crazy, like, girl. Was from Chris thought she was with me. Not bad. Okay. Let's do some funnel runners. And then here's the plan, guys. I'm off tomorrow. But there might be a chance that I'll be on US Saturday night just to pop in and say hi. But tomorrow is the day, yes. Tomorrow is the day. I'm gonna send her this video of Mimi. Where is it? This cute little video of Mimi. Video. I'm getting the cat tomorrow. Oh, I have pics, babe. I have pics. I'll show you in a second. I'm just gonna...
From that day on, we was always together. Jenny knew.
Oh, cutie. Cutie. I just sent her that thing. I'll show you the pickies, babe. We heard her meow for the first time. Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear it? Baby, you're like lightning in a bottle. That'd be, I know. I do it to myself, but it's so cute. Cutie girl. Hi. And then she sent me, because the foster carer, they were like, I think she knows it's our last day together. I was like, are you sure? Little girly. very snuggly, like she's acting like Mimi right now. Mimi's sister. I say that not to compare, but just because I notice like their demeanor is very similar. It's very cute. I know she has socks and gloves. She was having her tunnel time. She loves her tunnel. She's 9 months old. Yeah, 9 months. But she's so small. I have the exact same tunnel right now. I got it from Kmart. I got her the tunnel, so she's ready to go. And then her shoelace here is her favorite thing in the world. I'll be picking that up from the foster care. But I bought her a new pack of shoelaces for the next foster. Turn that shit up.
Hi.
So yesterday? No, true. 3G, let's go. I don't think my ass will fit, but that was her yesterday. My dream. Can't wait. Can't wait to cuddle her. So yeah, you will see her around very soon. Yeah. So that's why I'm ending early today, because I'm going to be setting up everything. I have to go get some food for her too, because she likes a specific brand. So I want to make it, like, when she's older, we might try a different brand, but to make her, like, as comfy as possible. She has an Australian meow. I know, Rose. Very beautiful coat. Very cute. Yeah, she's cute as. I'm so excited to show you, like, all the new photos taken by me, you know? It'd be cool. I'll just say... She's so cute. She's like, are you going to rename Gab? And I said, no, she suits it. She goes, yeah, it's a name for a princess, which she is. Anyone who donates to Maggie's. Oh, anyone who donates to Maggie's gets to pick a name. That's so cute. Guys, a donator did it. Clunt. Guy, imagine. Clunt. We'll have to pick a name then. Because I'm going to do a fundraiser for Maggie's. Gabalina. That's so cute. Oh, Mimi. True. We can pass it on. Dolly. Pizza. Dolly's cute. If I didn't like Gab's name so much, I would have named her Dolly, but because of Doll too, I say Doll a lot, but I love the name. Curry. Tim Curry is our name we've chosen. That's funny. Because we'll do a fundraiser soon, guys. And then we can all... pee poop. We can all, like, do a poll. And we can come up with the name we get to choose for a kitty. Which is so cute, actually. I love that. Oh, I can create a session. Session name. Yo Gabba Gabba. Pizza! From the Plaza Hotel. Yes. I gotta boost my rating. My thing. Am I in the funnel runners category, guys? Okay, cool. Thank you. How do I do this? Yippee! Training hard. How do I use my thing? Hello? Is it touch the sword? Hello?
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 Oh, who's ready to chase Tornado?
Oh, me, doll. Let me turn you up.
Let me fall in a manhole real quick.
Hello? Wait, can I turn you guys up?
Testing, hello. La 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 la.
Wait, hold.
La 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 la. I feel like I'm in Sister Act 2. La 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 la.
Can I turn him up individually?
Oh, can you?
Wait.
This is Tabby, number 3. Hello, Dom.
Wait, talk again, Jeffy?
Hello, la 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 la.
All right, Tammy testing. Tam Bam 1. I'm stuck muted. What the hell? You're stuck. I was like, why aren't you talking? All right, let's try and load in and see if we can get you not muted. Oh, wait. Hold. Oh, no. All right, let's start and see if we can hear you. If not, we'll restart. Jeffy sounds beautiful. Emily, get in here, doll. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, here we go.
Tammy?
Come in, ladies and gents.
Tammy!
Hello?
I can hear you.
Yeah,
Okay. The microphone thing was like had like an X over it, and I couldn't figure out why.
Not silencing Tam Bam 1.
It's acid rain, by the way.
Oh, it's acid rain. Oh, shit.
Grab an umbrella.
You grab the umbrella. We need you alive.
No, you.
No, you.
No, you.
Alright, guys.
Jeffy's got it, okay.
Well, if no one's gonna grab it, Jeffy will. All right, I'll go in here. Run, run, run.
Thing.
What, baby?
There's a tornado coming down, by the way.
Oh, shit. Crowbar.
Right in front of the truck, I think.
Oh, no. Oh, my God, Freedom, I know. I found out about yesterday morning, and we played the Pizza Alert, and it was
I
beautiful.
found spark plugs, Carla.
Oh, nice. That's the
They're
new
on the
thingy.
floor right here.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah. Let me just see. Jeffy, are you alive?
I believe I'm right in the eye of the storm, Joe.
Stay calm.
They've got a fireplace in this house. It's quite nice,
in here?
actually.
Yeah.
Alright, I've got the coolants as well.
Good comms, good comms. But now Tim Curry will live forever in our stream because we have him on Tamagotchi, and we have him in our alerts.
Do we need a defib? Over. It's Jeffy, by the way.
Yeah, put it in the truck, doll. It's Carla, by the way.
I can carry it, Jeffy, because you'll drop your umbrella if you pick that up.
It's Tammy, by the way.
Oh, right.
Wait, who just spoke?
Sorry, it's Jeffy, by the way. Over.
There's a big fun.
I heard a woman on the radio. Who was that? Hello?
Tornado, Carla, down here.
What do you mean? Tammy's trying to save me and I'm doing a joke. I'm doing a bit. I can't believe Gabby made me cry. That's crazy.
Come downstairs real quick.
I'm in the garage. Where are you, doll? Oh, Jesus Christ!
Sure.
What's that? Oh, Jesus! What's that? Why was it green? You're right, doll. Oh, acid rain. Okay, let's go, let's go.
I took all my things though. Over. This.
Change the spark plugs. Okay, I'm gonna try and go. Need a toolbox.
There's another tornado coming down.
Oh, shut. Oh, the acid rain. Jeffy, are you good? Oh, he's dead.
Oh, okay. I have a defib. I need to find him.
Jeffy, can you bring a
Right next
toolbox?
to us. Jeffy's right next to us. But we gotta wait for the S4.
Jeffy, doll, can you bring a toolbox? I don't appreciate you ignoring me, Jeffy. No, I'm kidding. Henry, thank you, my god. Appreciate you. How much do we have? 50. This is hard mode. What the hell? This is crazy.
Might be okay.
Foxy, cute. I'll have a look-see when I can.
Alright, we might have time.
Just gonna move this.
Drop this here.
Oh, Tabby! 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 Somewhere over the rainbow. Alright, I'm dead. Poor Reese is like, what the hell?
Hi.
Hello.
That
Hello?
shifted, and I didn't see it coming back.
I'm very excited, Foxy.
and I revived Jeffy, and I think it got us.
Not good. Let's do a normal. That's alright. Let's do normal. How are you, Freedom?
All right. Continue.
Alright. Ari, hello. It's so fun, Grace. Hey. Been lurking. How are you?
Love the sound of that siren gets my heart racing every time. Here we go.
Let's go, guys. We got it. I'm doing normal just to
We need a battery, unfortunately.
Oh fuck.
Or else we can't really.
It's not acid rain, is it?
Would you like a crowbar?
A crowbar. Okay. I get it, doll. You're horny.
If you break enough doors open, you get a suit that lets that like be only one inventory slot, and then you break doors open a lot easier.
Alright. I'm glad you're good. Also, you know what's crazy? I have my house inspection next Tuesday as well, like a few days after I get Gabs. But I was allowed to have Mimi, and it's a trial technically, so they'll be like, oh hey, isn't this funny that this is the same gas station as that game. I shouldn't get in trouble though, because I'm allowed to have a cat. But they're gonna be like, hey. I don't really have to do much, thank God. I just have to, Actually, you know what? That's even more reason for me to make sure I finish at a good time today, because I gotta do a lot of laundry. I gotta do some cleaning. Ari, shit, my SIGs. Fuck, you're right. I gotta hide my SIGs. I forgot about that. Oh, the new games. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Yippee! Oh, jeez. Get in the truck! Ew.
Look, I put the battery in. I still have oil to put in too. That's
Oh,
a
we're
little tiny
fine.
one. Oh, there is an F4 forming though, right next to us.
Great.
Jeffy, have you seen this, by the way? If
Have
you
I
hit
seen
E
what,
on the
Dom?
Doppler radar, if you hit E on the Doppler radar right here, it tells you what kind of tornado is spawning and where it's going to be.
Is it fine to go out?
So we have an F4 spawning pretty much right next to the back of the truck.
Nice back day with Sheila. I know. I know.
It's gonna be
We'll
big.
do, maybe I'll message Sammy and be like, hey, 'cause I think we'll do some friend swap next week. And I'm meant to be doing Zomboy with Chris next week, but I'm not sure if that will happen. But I want to message Sammy and be like, hey, let's do a full day where we do games together. Like just heaps of different games. That'd be super fun. I also want to do a game day with Lopes and Whiskey. Oh, I'm gonna die. Guys, you know how I tried to call Lopes the other day and it called this random number? Lopes messaged me last night and he's like, dude, I gave you the wrong number accidentally. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, it's okay, I just called this random man. I know, it's actually, it's crazy that it's September, like a couple of days. Yeah. But it's all good. All good. We fixed it. Imagine if that guy answered. I would have been like, Oh, there we go. Oh, they've done a new thing. That's kind of cool. More interactive. Wait, when's B-Day, Freedom? Oh, shit. Basically September, I know. Oh, wait, that's September. That's not November. Oh! Oh, you're a day before my mum. That's right. We've said this before. You're a day before my mum. The O emote is so perfect every time I see it. Verg gang. It's actually such a funny emote. Where's the garage? I'm going into the same rooms. Girl, how many bathrooms do they have? Oh, here we go. Are we alive?
We're live on the police station right now. Over.
I found all?
What was that?
I found all.
Wait, what's all done? Oh, oil! Oh! Oil! All.
Yeah, I found all.
Carla, we just need spark plugs.
Oh, I just found all. On my way, looking.
Look at that. I found a tape.
How do they know? How do they know? What?
Sorry.
Juniper, wait. I love that. Ari, I'm so sorry. I'm so tired and slow today. What do you mean, doll? You didn't. Oh, sorry. It's Carla, by the way. Sorry about that.
By the way.
Yep, you're right. You're right. I'm so tired that I was like, what are you talking about?
Another door for you to break if you want.
Alright, doll. I'm just breaking. Oh, wait, hold. I'll be there in a jiffy. I'm just breaking a door. Grace, you're right. You're so right. I don't think any spark plugs are here. Guys, I just remembered. Guys. Look at this. I'm so excited.
I'm in the general store. Does anyone need some canned sardines?
September 9th. Oh, so close.
I don't know what is tuna.
That's spark plugs.
Yep.
And
I'll probably
be
get
done,
a
thank you.
lob together for it.
Appreciate the offer.
There's some crackers here.
I have some spaghetti meatballs. It's Carla, by the way.
Do we have everything we need? Over. It's Jeffy, by the way.
We're just missing the one extra objective.
I'll grab the data.
Coming down right now.
I'm gonna make my way back to the van. Over. It's Jeffy, by the way.
I want to come to see. There's an F3 coming down.
Oh, uh-oh.
It's alright, I'm an F5. Yep.
God, I'm so excited.
Oh, it's here! Oh, I've been running back! It's Jeffy, by the way. Over. I think this is the end. This is the end.
Skyfall. You know what'd be so cute, guys? I'm so sorry. My next, like, fun event, or whenever I want, really, I can get, we'll have a collection of cat badges, so I can get Gab's face as a badge as well. Have the whole family. Gab's when she gets here. Oh! Okay, let's go. This is the end. Oh god. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna get that objective. I might die for it. I'm trying to get the objective.
We need a defib.
Oh, I'll have a look. 5-1. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh my god, Pixel. Leggies. Yeah, why are the lights on? Oh, this is not a good house to be in. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Uh-oh. A hat cat. Prequel to Grey's Gardens? What is that? What? I thought you said Grey's Anatomy for a second. get anything else to show you? No. I don't think so. No. Okay. Oh God. We need 3 8.
It's like a pipe puzzle.
Oh God. Five, 1, 3, 8. Oh, there we go. Girl. Why isn't it letting me? Oh. There we go. Okay, I don't know where the van is though. My bad. I got hit by lightning, but it's alright. I got zapped. Did we find a defib?
No, we haven't. Not yet.
I think there's one in here. This is the end. I saw one in here somewhere. Ouchie mama. Battery. There's a lot going on.
Got Jesse back in the truck.
Jeffy? How much is a thingy? Fuses?
True, I didn't even look how many coins we had. I should have it unlocked, though.
Oh yeah, we can just get hit by lightning. You're fine, right? That's how it works? Battery. I've seen one though. I've seen one. But where?
The defib is 200 coins. We have 124.
Okay, we got this. Oh, not Jeffy's body.
20 are coming down.
Oh shit. Not Jeffy just lying on his back. Jesus Christ. Pizza.
Might be a big one.
Jeffy's dead.
Yeah, it's enough for.
Great. This is the end. We're fine. We can get Jeffy. I believe. I believe. Hold. Oh boy.
Oh. Oh, she took a sharp turn. Look at.
Oh, mamma mia. Doppler radar. Oh, my back is so sore. Ooh. I'm back at the gym, and everything is so sore from the other day.
Wait, she turned again. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going.
Probably stay on this side because there's two F3s forming to the east of us.
Oh, shut. I don't know how to do a good Kiwi accent, Ari. I can only say shut a few times. That's it. I wish I was better at the Kiwi accent. It's such a good accent. I think Mum can do a good one, obviously, because she was born in New Zealand, but I'm quite bad at it.
Do you have a crowbar?
Ooh, I had one. I don't know where it is. Where is it gone? Whoopsies. Let me see if I can find another one.
Over here?
Guys, I swear
I hear the other tornadoes coming down now.
I swear I've looked in the same house. Oh shit. Oh, it's so funny, Staley. That's why people don't sing in their Aussie accents.
Have a defib.
Hell yeah.
But I might be in trouble.
Oh, it's huge. It's going past the van now.
I believe it's coming in my direction. Oh no, it should be okay.
Oh, it's coming back this way?
That should have been the last tornado. For the big one. I'm on my way back.
Twister,
with the
who?
defib.
Twisters are absolutely crazy. What the hell? We're coming for you, doll. We're coming for you. It's alright. It's alright. I know what will get you up. Yep. Wake up, doll. Wake up, sweetie. Wake up, sweetie. Yep.
Stop. What?
You're welcome.
What? Do I have a dart in my doodle?
No, you don't. It's acupuncture, doll.
Oh, it's acupuncture. Oh, I'm feeling very relaxed right now. Very
Yeah.
relieved.
Yeah, we did it, everyone. See,
You
told
really
ya.
got it. You really got it.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Well done, ladies and gents. Well done.
3, 2 and 1 night. What? Have you tried the vanilla Pepsi, Em? No, there's nothing you can do. It's honestly mind-blowing to me. Like, it's... What the hell? So strong. So big. So girthy. Yippee!
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, look at us go. I want a new map. What I say to myself in the mirror after a shower. I'm also going to be showering as well. I have a big plan for my afternoon. Very excited. But we play maybe 2 more rounds. Which is not my usual Friday. I'm on for much longer usually, but I know you guys understand.
We have a battery.
House inspection. New cat. Brand new cat. But never had a
You
log cat at
tired?
home. Staley,
So we need
why?
a scissor jack for the tire, but we have the toolkit.
Good comms, good comms.
Let me check this house
minimum 15 min. Minimum. It's my thinking time. And everything shower includes thinking for 20 minutes. Minimum. Look at all the tokens we're getting, doll. Collect the Apex document. Oh, we need this. Alright, I'll collect it. Found the document and the brake fluid.
I might have to wait in this house before I bring the fuel because there's a tornado coming down.
I agree. There's also a crowbar in this house. Oh,
It
let
looks
me...
like an F3.
I'm going.
Moving north.
Thank you for this week, guys. I know it's been a weird one with how, like, little I've streamed, but I appreciate, oh god, your understanding with everything. I'm excited for our week next week. So much to look forward to. I have to wash my hair too. God damn. Do I just put this in storage? Yeah. Oh, I had brake fluid. Oh.
Found all. Over.
Are you done what, doll? Done what?
I found all. It's Jeffy, by the way. Over.
You found all?
Yeah, I got a bit of all.
Alright, that's really good. It's Tammy, by the way.
So I got a fuel can. I don't think we need that, right?
Man, how did you get on that TikTok? That's hilarious. Good for you. Hey, if you're brave enough... Wish I was that brave. Hi, Mac. Yes, so what I saw last, Mac, is they redid it and we can play again. Oz and New Zealand are fine again. Hopefully it stays that way. They reviewed it, which is good because it was very silly. Did you say we need a scissor jack?
We do, yeah.
Well, I found it.
She's just that good. Over.
Yeah, it's Tammy, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Tell me, by the way.
Brick by brick.
The spark plugs? No, that's not the same.
But also, not me getting distracted, Mac. I hope you will too. I'm very excited to play it.
You
You having a day off on the day it comes off?
Jeffy, by the way.
Yes, thanks, Jeffy. I'm on the way back to the van. Tell me what.
Wow, Jeffy, you sound extra gorgeous. Oh god.
I also agree with that statement. Tell me, by the way.
I'm scared. Oh, my back is so sore. Mac, I'm back in the gym, which is great. But I stupidly did a full body the other day. Like, I went hard and it hurts picking up my keys. Like, I'll bend over to pick something up and I'm like, oh! Yeah, Pixel. I'm gonna see how that works with Crispy if he likes that one. We'll test it out in a few days.
We just need fuses and tires and a scissor jack.
I'm bringing the scissor jack. It's Jeffy, by the way.
Very
Don't know what. A bit longer. It's like not next week, but oh wait, do we get a few days earlier? We do, don't we? Oh shit, it might be then. Wait, hold. If it comes out the 9th, does that mean we get it on the 6th?
I found a tire. No.
Wait, hold. Hold. Store page. 9th. You'll be able to play the game 4 days ahead of full release.
I might be in trouble.
Oh, so...
I'm in the gas station. I hear one coming down near me.
yeah, you're right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. No, Friday. Starts approximately in 7 days. Wait, do we get it Friday then? That'd be amazing. Yay. Thanks, Matt. I'm so, like, every part of me is so sore. It's ridiculous, actually. This is so sore. What did I do? Oh, yeah. Oh, don't worry about me. Yeah, yeah. Don't worry about it. No, it's like, really, what did I do? I don't know what I did. I can rub it for you.
You've lost the van.
Sheesh. I'm not bath. Muscle mummy season is I'm cooking. I'm cooking. Who's on top of you, doll? Oh yeah. I have a fuse.
Big one.
Are you talking about my titties?
Maybe. This is Jeffy, over.
Jeffy, you little whore. It's Tammy, by the way. Okay, Popeye, save some for the rest of us.
Trying to find the van. Over.
I have a fuse.
I've got tires and I know where oil is. Over. It's Carla, by the way.
Wow, Carly, you sound very sexy.
Thank you. Yep. Over.
Your bush? You shaved it.
Well, hello.
Hey,
where's the
doll.
tire? I'm gonna put it inside the van.
That's kind of cool. I like that. Fish, enjoy your lurk, doll. I'll skedaddle soon. I'll do one more after this, and then it dawned on me how much I actually have to do this afternoon. So, or maybe after this one, who knows how long we get. But next week, I promise my streams will be back to normal. Where are you, doll? You good? Oh shit. Oh shit. I can't believe we get to play it 4 days early. By the way, courtesy of Mac. They surprised me with the deluxe edition. Randomly, I think, what, a month or so ago? Which is so kind. So we get to play 4 days early. Oh my god, that's so exciting. Can you still buy the deluxe? I gotta tell Gran to get on it. I wonder if that means we get to play Friday. Does that make sense? 4 days earlier is the 5th. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's the 4th, that'll be amazing. I don't think it's the 4th. It might be the 5th. You're doing great, guys.
Thank you. The tie's in the van, and Tammy's coming with the all.
It will be Friday, but I have to figure out what time. Oh, okay, got you. Okay. I wonder if we... wonder if we'll be anywhere online. That would be amazing.
We'll say, crowbar.
Good comms? Oh, that's fun. Oh, these are much... that's much better. Oh. The mini games are so cool.
Yeah, I know. I like them.
I can fuse one. Let me Google. What time does Halloween come out in Australia Deluxe Edition?
There's an
Searching.
F4. Oh. Jeffy, there's an F4 forming
September
between
4,
you and
2
the truck.
a.m.
Oh, I was on my way. Do I go back into the house?
Probably for the best, yeah. If you can find a second story.
Oh my
or
god.
a two-story.
Guys, would it
And
be
just stay
kind
on
of
the first
crazy
floor.
to go live super early? Like, try and go live when it comes out?
Okay, I made it into a house. Over.
Okay.
Like, do
You
a
might
night
be safe
stream?
For now, it's moving southeast, but it's moving towards the truck.
If I can, I will. That'd be fun. There might be drops or something. Stay alive! You got it, sweetie.
Look how the light has come.
I agree. You're right, Joel.
Stuck on a fence. Oh!
Tornado turn, moving northeast from where it's at now. Jeffy, you're still safe.
Oh.
I see the truck. Over.
You got this? Guys, should I do a night stream for Halloween?
Alright.
Yay.
You did it.
That's all the primary thing. We leave or we try for the last two documents?
I reckon we try for the last two documents.
Okay. We have a few minutes.
Alright. Here we go, guys.
Nothing's forming right now.
Let's
Lock
go.
in, lock in.
You got it, guys. Low player count? True, unless everyone is pumped. And I VPN. No, you're right. I could see, and then if it's like not as hype in Oz, which I think it will be, but I'm probably wrong, I can just go back to bed. Pixel, thank you for clipping that. Oh my goodness.
Have one.
Woo!
I think that's Jeffy, right? Over.
Wow, Jeffy, you're so smart. Cosplay. Maybe I could be a final girl.
There is a tornado forming.
Not on my watch. Does a tape count or is it just a document?
It's just a document.
Oh, fuck. Thank you for clipping. I want to bring back my...
Whoever's at 6 and 2, that F-rate's coming right to you.
This might be the end.
But it looks like a parachute.
Oh. Whoopsies. This is the end. I somehow survived that. It's crazy. Yeah, flinging me around. Stop it. I'm getting way too good at whistling like that. And it's become like a stim for me, and it's stupid, but it's so fun.
Also, to answer your question, I don't think the tapes count. It's a separate objective. You can bring them back for a bonus, though.
Good comms, good comms. Oh, I can't wait to play Halloween. I hope it scratches my Friday itch. Uh-oh, new obsession. Uh-oh. This is the end.
We have about a minute or two before we have to start heading back.
Good comms. I can't.
By the way.
Steady, I can't. I've tried so much. I cannot do it. No one ever wants to be Carla.
We love you.
Halloween's coming out soon, doll.
Isn't it banned in Australia or something? I read something about it.
They revoked it. It's back.
Here, look out.
Hey.
Oh.
Stelly, that's very impressive. I can't do it. I can barely
What
whistle.
happens if we don't leave in a minute?
We get sucked in.
Oh. I'm gonna check one more house and then I'm coming.
Wait, this should be my thumbnail. Yep.
Oh, I think that's time to go, guys. Back to the van, back to the van.
Alright. Yep. I'm getting slowly sucked in. Sounds like my Friday night. Don't panic, but just get to the bloody truck.
Run it as fast as I can.
Will I survive with the door open if I just sit on the driver's seat, technically?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh. Let me know when we're all in.
We're all good to go, Joe.
Let's go. Do you like my drawing? Everything's fine. Eh. I liked the drawing. Can you hear me in this screen?
Tornadoes observed 8.
Oh, shoot. Can you hear me?
Huge.
It's a whole lot of action.
Whole lot of eggs.
Can you hear me, babies?
All right, well, that's my lunch break.
That's
but
my
I'll
last
be
one
down
as
to
well.
play soon,
Yeah.
if you guys are still going.
I can't hear you.
No. Let me continue on. Oh, I have to skedaddle and get heaps done. But I want to play this again soon with a proper sesh, because
Hell yeah.
amazing. Thank you for popping in short notice.
Thank you. That's fun.
Yippee! All right, guys. Have a fun day.
You too.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Bye. Bye. Chris, what? Did you run out of milk? What's the bad news? Tell me. Wait, what the hell? Why not? It's ridiculous. We're busy. My arm is so sore. Holy shit. Guys, Whiskey's watching the GTA stuff. Crazy to end on, Chris. I hope you're okay. I have so much to do because I have my kitty coming tomorrow, and then I also have my inspection in a couple of days as well. So, Mummy's got to do a few things. So a little mini stream. Chans, I'm sorry. I know I'm getting a kitty, Chris. Her name's Gabby. I'm very excited. Yes, you did miss something, apparently. Here she is. Chans, look at this. Look at this. Hi. Isn't she cute? Home. Isn't it cute? Anyway, so I will be getting Gabs tomorrow. I'll make sure to send photos and everything. But yeah, I have a lot to set up with that and clean. So I love you guys. I'll see you. If I don't see you not tomorrow but the next day, I'll definitely see you US Sunday. But I love you guys. Thank you for your understanding, and I'll see you ASAP. Me and y'all. Bye guys. I love you.